What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Bytes podcast. This is episode 41, and in this podcast is where you give us your time, you. Fuck, this is so bad. No, we're running with it. The whole point was I was gonna say thank you for giving us your time so we can give you our takes. Where it's like because I thought I was in the shower, I was thinking, uh, some when people are like, oh, people only take but they never give, but you're giving us your time listening. You probably clicked off, but this is a gaming podcast slash YouTube video where two dudes talk about gaming, life, and just stuff, man, in pop culture.
Stuff. Excellent.
We talk about because it changes every week, man. Sometimes now we're just I just butchered the intro. I don't know who's still here, but they're here.
That's true.
If you're here, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. We're at 260. It would be awesome if we get to 275. So we just need 15 people. That's like a dozen eggs and 3 more.
It's like a dozen and a half. Isn't that a farmer's dozen? Is that what they call it? Where it's like
no,
18?
No, a baker's dozen is 13, but we need 15.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Baker's dozen.
We need a baker dozen and twins. So just please, if you
only twins subscribe. That's the rule here. But yeah, we have it's been a while since we have obviously recorded. Eid happened.
You can say obvious the way I did the handle this start, right?
Clearly this guy's out of practice.
Yeah, it's rust.
This guy sucks. But it's been a bit. But Eid Mubarak to everybody. We had Eid. We had Ramadan finished, so we're back on it. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Resident Evil 9, Project Hail Mary, and then some news, of course, with Discord, Highguard. PlayStation is doing a bunch of stuff today, and of course DLSS 5. So it's gonna
have a lot of opinion.
Yeah, we have at least one. Let's go ahead and get started. How was your week?
And honestly,
I guess your week's
yeah. Ramadan was good for the most part.
Alhamdulillah.
I haven't done that before.
You cut out. Say again.
Oh, I was just saying I finished reading the Quran, so I've never done cover to cover before. So
shout out to the Quran.
Nice to kind of shout out so aside from that, this week my job is doing layoffs. Okay. Low key, it's been a minute, man, and I'm tired. I'm low key. I'm not saying okay.
Let's leave it at that. Let's just let's not expand on that.
Yeah, damn, bro.
Let's not.
Anyways, there's a lot to say, but I don't know. I might be a lot freer next.
Don't worry, Peter's listening, brother. Don't worry about
it. Yeah, but aside from that, I watched Project Hail Mary, Resident Evil 9. I think that's something that you also did. So we can chat a bit more later on. But for me, I got the itch randomly to get back into Resident Evil 4. I was like, oh, let me play
remake or original?
The remake.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, let me play this on hardcore mode. And then I boot in and I was like, maybe I'm not that good at it. So I just went playing Mercenaries mode, which is like a time trial where
it's like a score attack kind of game, right? Where you
have to score attack, where it's like you have to like kill 150 enemies and you have like limited ammo and stuff.
Yeah.
So and like they give you like a fixed loadout. Okay. And that's just fun. Just some of the combat and the mechanics.
Did you play as Wesker?
No, I didn't. I just unlocked Pinstripe Leon.
Okay. Wesker's crazy, dude. Until when you get there, I won't spoil it, but his stuff is insane.
I would assume because just from fighting him in previous games, he looks like all he does is just instant transmission, like Goku.
Yeah, you know Dante from DMC5 with the Royal Guard.
Yeah,
it's like that. He can do that shit in the game, which is kind of crazy. When it's like Uvarastero, and he's like, "What the? He's doing combos." And he's just like smoking sexy style, just beating all these villagers up.
Bro, they need to. Yeah, they just did a crossover.
Basically.
But yeah, so I played that for a good chunk of time.
Did you play this before or after RE9?
I finished RE9 and then I kind of booted it up. I
Okay.
also like low key. I just also installed Death Stranding 2 just to do the intro again, and then I just stopped.
61.
What?
Does it you downloaded it via Family Share or you bought it?
Yeah, well, I downloaded your copy.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, what else did you do?
I've been dipping my toes more into the indie games, so I play Deadline Delivery, which it's the closest thing to Crazy Taxi. Actually, low-key, it is a strange. You are delivering, but you're doing much faster. The premise is you are a monkey, and your boss is like, you're so slow at delivering mails. So what I'm gonna do is put a bomb to your car, and if you don't deliver the mail fast enough or safely, your car's gonna explode. So every level is you going 200 miles an hour, whipping corners, dropping off envelopes into mailboxes, and making sure the car is.
That's okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's very fast and chaotic. You constantly have to retry. So it's one of those games I didn't think I was gonna like, because I thought I would not like repetitive games, but because like there's levels where I've easily hit up like 200 retries just trying to finish the level. Some of those retries, like either trying to get a better time or trying to just finish the level, because some of these levels can get pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Because like it's like the roads are whipping in like left turn, right turn, and you're going 200 miles an hour.
Did you play Neon White?
No, that's the speedrunning game.
That's the speedrunning game. Yeah, I was gonna ask if it's like the same kind of like, is there time that you're trying to beat and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, because I think after 30 seconds, the car explodes, so you're trying to get under 30 seconds.
Okay, just default. It's always gonna explode at that same time.
Oh, like it's around that window. It's not exactly 30, but it's just
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's just a good game. Like, kind of sit on Discord and just vibe to.
Okay.
The other game that Hadi and I guess we played together was Super Battle Golf.
Yes.
Which
Super Battle Golf.
It's basically, imagine like you're golfing with your friends, but it adds the element of like Mario Kart, where you can kind of influence people.
First and foremost, friend swap, right? That's like the default.
Yeah, actually,
yeah, friend swap.
Honestly, it is a friend swap game.
Not in a bad way. It's a great friend swap game, but just so everyone is clear about what we're playing.
Yeah, so it's like Peak, or it's like
Repo
Company, Repo, yeah.
That kind of like streamer friend swap game.
Yeah, it's you're there mostly just not to be last place, and it's perfect for griefing, right? It's
Absolutely.
like imagine if you're playing Mario Kart and everybody got an item that was like on par with the blue shell. You imagine the round starts, you're all kind of lined up next to each other, and you're supposed to, as fast as you can, in the least amount of like hits, get the ball in the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny because like you can literally at the start, everybody like lining up their shots, and I just walk over and just smack the other person.
Yeah, every time I'm next to Ahmed in these games, he'll in this game specifically, he'll just walk over. Even if I'm not next to him, he'll aim at me from across like the people to hit me with his golf ball, just so he can like grief my ass and just knock me out. So
it's so fun because it's like sometimes I'm like I'm last place, but I'm like, dude, I'm gonna drag everybody with me, and and you can find power-ups that are like a pistol, bazooka, a shield, a golf cart, like there's
an orbital laser.
Yeah. So it's just good dumb fun, right? Like just like doing hearty wheezing laughs, that type.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of those games where the more you play it, the more you can figure out tech, but then the more other people figure out other tech. So it's like there's stuff that they're doing that you didn't realize you could do, and you're kind of like feeling it from that. But it's great, honestly. Yeah.
So between hopefully they can add like mod support or workshop, because like that would add extended longevity, I think. Where the community can like add remixing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But yeah, outside of that, I think I didn't put it on here, but I started watching Evangelion Genesis, the original. Surprisingly really good.
Okay, have you seen you haven't seen it before, or?
I haven't seen it before.
Okay. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's really good. Like it's Very interesting. Don't look up anything regarding it, obviously, because
Like I know that I know the ending, and
oh,
but
so
I
you know
don't
like the
understand the
twist.
ending.
Okay.
Well, not really. I just know that I just seen like the look an idea of what the ending looks like, and then
Okay. Okay.
I just know something about the hospital bedroom. That's it.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So that, but yeah. And then we're just trying to get through Gen V. Surprisingly better this time around. Gen V is the spinoff of The Boys on Amazon.
Okay. Does it
Where
connect, or is it kind of?
yeah. So it connects. I think
Okay.
to me it's a better story than The Boys. The Boys I think leans
Yeah.
pretty heavy in one way, but this one is like, oh, you're on a university that's made for superheroes. The first season is okay, but the second season I think it goes into a different direction.
Just imagining. Oh, Kachan, we gotta save America from Homelander, and then you just have Homelander lasering down students from My Hero Academia. Oh, Kachan, Deku. Oh my God! It's just like, all right. Sorry, continue. I just
You've been practicing these voices too long, dude. Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Dude, you are on, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You're doing some voices.
Maybe
Freelance.
I'm I'm the guy on TikTok that's doing it. The most vile things. But would you? So
Yeah.
you're saying you like it more than The Boys?
So far, yeah. But also, it's just like I think it's too like I mean I don't it's like a 7 out of 10. It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
I think it's just I'm just trying to watch stuff and we're just trying to get it done.
Did you watch
Check
Andor
off
yet?
list. No.
Okay.
I think my wife has, but if she hasn't, I would. But I would watch it. I think you guys were saying it.
It's probably one of my top 10 shows of all time. I highly recommend it. You and your wife would really enjoy it.
And or what?
And or what? Window or aisle or I'll what? Or you'll what? Okay. So was that your weeks?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just
Okay.
vibing, man. What about you?
What did I do? It's been a couple weeks, obviously, but I have been playing on my Steam Deck a little bit. I've been playing a lot of Dead Cells. Really like the game. I think it's probably one of my favorite roguelikes. It's just very fast paced, lots to unlock. Combat is really engaging. The game rewards like perfection, and the game rewards like speed as well. So if you can do both, you get double benefits. So really cool. I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't tried it out and is a fan of roguelikes. And they have really good tie-ins. So the reason I jump back into it as well is because since we have been gone, I've been watching that Curse of Belmont trailer, the Castlevania game that's coming out. That was announced, I think, at the PlayStation Showcase. And I've been like, man, this is getting really hyped for this game because like I trust the studio and I trust like what they're doing. So I want to go back to something that they've been building, and that this is one of them. So this is their main thing that they've built out so far. So playing a lot of that, really liking it. Not much more to say other than it's really good and try it out. Played Hades 2. I just finished the Fear 32 run, so I have all three. The way Hades works is that they have modifiers on your runs, and the modifiers are called Fear. And if you have enough modifiers, you get like trophies for doing it. So I have all three trophies now. I achieved the final like challenge, and I also got the epilogue. Yeah, I think Hades 2 is better than Hades 1 in every single way, personally. I think it exceeds story. Well, story is, whatever. I would say story is actually not too bad. Story, I would also say that gameplay-wise and just overall just vibe and content is just overall a much better package, personally. And then what else did I play? I tried Skate Story.
Yeah, bro.
You also tried it, right? And you bounced off?
Yeah, it did not feel the best.
I am not a fan of those kinds of skate games where it's like modifiers on like the 4 buttons, and the game isn't bad. It's visually astounding, and like the content itself is pretty cool. There's a lot in there, but I just couldn't get into it too much, to be honest. I'm just like, like it's good, but didn't feel good, if that makes sense. Unfortunately. Yeah. What else? What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, Death Stranding 2. This came out at an interesting time because I was actually looking for a new game to pick and play, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get God of War Ragnarok and play that on PC because I've been wanting to play it again for a bit now. And then I realized this was on like May like 17th or March 17th, and I was like, oh wait, hold on. And of course, Death Stranding 2 was coming out on the 19th, so I was like, oh okay, let me just wait and buy that. Came out, I bought that. And I'm playing the most difficult version of the game called To the Wilder or To the Wilds, Wilder or something like that. To the Wilder, I think, is the name of the mode. And they say it's the most punishing because they say enemies are more vigilant, weather events happen more often. But I have not yet encountered a challenge where I was like, oh, this is like really tough. Granted, I'm still in the very beginning stages of the game. And I think it's one of those things where if you don't know how to play a Death Stranding game, you'll suffer. But if you know what you're doing in terms of you played the first one, you were a fan of it, you did everything in the first one, you'll be okay in the second one. And I got to that intro sequence that Ahmed was talking about. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. It on par with Ghost of Tsushima intro sequence, personally.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it's just the music is so good. It's it I the pacing, the intro, the music, the way things move, and just I don't know, man. It's a very good way to just want you to get more into the world. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say that like the music is fantastic and the world is fantastic, and I'm just doing the mundane and really enjoying it. Like I just so you know where I'm at. I just got through the plate gate, the first one, I guess not the first one, but like the main one that they have you go through. And I've met I just met the musician is the guy. So, and the reason I say just because I have currently let me pull it up. I have currently 18 hours into it, and I've just been doing that first beginning area, getting up to 5 stars, finding stuff, building roads, and just like really getting into the world of Death Stranding again. And I'm loving it. You know, I'm liking the combat, which they definitely upped. You said they did it, like you said they upped it, and I'm really feeling it.
They really were like, okay, let's make this more action gamey, which like I think they fleshed out a lot of the systems and made things feel snappier or just feel good.
Yeah, and I think that's a very smart move in terms of escalating the game feel and how it plays, because at like the trekking stuff and like the mail delivery system, for lack of a better term, they nailed it the first time, right? So all they have to do is bring that forward. Now how do you expand on that formula? Oh, very easily. Just expand the combat, make it a lot more fun to like do other things. You could definitely feel the MGS5 from it, you know, not in a bad way. It's really cool. I like it a lot. I enjoyed MGS5's the way it played in terms of gameplay, but it's good, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Obviously play the first one first and then jump into this one. There has been some, I won't spoil anything obviously, but there's been some story callouts that whenever there's something that I think will happen, I text Ahmed like, hey, like this character is going to do this, or this character is this, just writing it down now so I have a running list. So he has not confirmed or denied any of them, which is good, but I am like, there was one character that got introduced, not a spoiler, a mannequin-esque character, and I'm like, all right, I know who this guy is, and I sent him my prediction. We'll see if it actually comes true, but you know, I would not be surprised if it did. So knowing Kojima, you know, he's definitely like he's got a way about him about telling a story, you know.
Yeah, he's like, yo, this guy's name is Fat Man. He's actually fat, and he actually likes bombs. That's I'm not even. That's literally a character in MGS2.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, he literally.
This guy's name, Tarman. What does he like to do? Swim in the tar. Yeah. It's like, all right, all right, man, I got it. But overall, liking it a lot. It's great. It's a super fun game. Highly recommend it. And yeah, that's all I played since we've been gone. I'm trying to think if I watched anything besides Project Hail Mary that we're gonna talk about in a bit. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else. So we can just go ahead and get into the spoiler or not spoilers, but we can go ahead and
I
get
guess
into
reviews.
review talk.
Oh.
So I guess before we get into that, if you're listening to this on any podcast platform, welcome and thanks for listening. We're updating like the way we do our YouTube videos, so take a look at it. We added a bunch of stuff, a lot more.
It's gonna be youtube.com Beard Bytes
podcast, I think. Beard Bytes podcast. Yeah.
Beard Bytes podcast.
But yeah, we're putting a lot more effort into YouTube videos, and we're going to be releasing segments and all that from the podcast itself. So be sure to check those out. And there's actually stuff to watch on those. Yeah. So we both played Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Resident Evil Requiem. What?
I want to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, I am so disappointed that when you boot up, you don't get the Resident Evil 9.
I agree. Or like not even 9, just Resident Evil like that would have been also good. But there's a lot missing from here that has some level of charm, which we'll get to in a second.
2 out of 10 game.
Well, I don't know about that one. But we are going to, the way we'll format this is we'll do a non-spoiler talk for the first, whatever minutes, and then we'll have a timestamp as to when the spoilers start. So just letting you guys know, and then you can
you have to like go back and be like, because the audio listeners.
Oh yeah.
Be like, yeah, we're gonna have a insert timestamp here.
Yeah, skip to, and then we'll just have it. Well, it's on screen right now. Skip to this. Or actually, no, don't skip to this because that's the spoilers. If you want spoilers, this is where it starts. If you don't want spoilers, this is where it starts. Right? I think that's how we want to do it.
Bro, me being a podcast listener, what the fuck is this?
Well, there's timestamps in the podcast too, so.
I know, but just imagine you're just like. Anyways.
But yeah, okay. What non-spoiler talk? What did you think about Resident Evil Requiem?
Non-spoiler. Okay. I liked, because I didn't play the 7 or 8, which were like the first person kind of reimaginings of the series, right? We're like, oh, how did they revive the series?
Okay.
I didn't play those, so I found playing Grace's section in first person very refreshing. I was like, I really like this. And had to do double takes and kind of be a bit slower and constantly crouch. So it really added the tension.
Were you playing it like that Call of Duty guy who was playing it before? I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, there's a video of a guy playing it like it's like Rainbow Six Siege, and he's like jiggle peeking everything. He's like, someone's gonna get at the corner, and he's at the very beginning of the game where he like go to the hotel. I'm like, dude, I liked it.
What would you give it out of 10? Like what would, like off of the bat, right?
Ooh.
Like, because for me, I didn't like it as much when I played through it the first time, and then the more I played it, I'm like, okay, hold on, they're really cooking here,
Yeah.
So it took a couple like plays for me to be like, oh, actually, you know what?
Yeah. This isn't really a spoiler, but like Dave and I, like it's on the cover. You play as 2 characters, right? The premise is Grace is more scary Resident Evil. Leon is more action in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
My issue, like, it is more about how they switch between the two. For me, it's a little bit of a whiplash, but they probably did it from like a pacing perspective because like you can't like constantly throw like tension and fear because at some point the next segment isn't going to hit as hard. So like I think they need to like okay, we finished this like encounter. Now we put this aside. Okay, because if you introduce a second segment of like scares, I don't think people are gonna be as scared. So like they're like
they have to space it out more. You're saying?
Yeah. Because traditionally you would probably like once you finish like the first puzzle.
Yeah.
Once you finish the first puzzle, traditionally you would expect that like okay, this is a good saving point. The people are gonna walk away and revisit the game later, right? Like it's kind of like a holistic moment. And you wrap up. You're like, okay, I'm at a good stopping point. And then you when you feel like you want to like, get scared again, you would boot the game back. But this game, it's like, oh, you finished this segment. Okay, we're gonna throw you into an action segment, and then the action segments are like very brief, and it's like, okay, you're back to scary.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
The whiplash I wasn't too keen on, but I understand why it's there.
yeah, I would agree that I can. Well, okay, I can't get into
Also, sorry,
too many details because of spoilers. But when we get to the
yeah,
spoiler section, I'll talk about it.
I also didn't answer the question. I would give it 8.5.
8.5. Okay, that's a fair score. I initially gave it a 8 out of 10, and then I played it again and again, and I was like, okay, never mind, 9 out of 10. So, and we can get into more details as to why, but I would agree about the whiplash bit to an extent. I think that Grace's section in the beginning of the game, the hospital area that you're in, again, not a spoiler, very, very well designed in terms of like, it's a fun, like, because every Resident Evil, like the whole idea of Resident Evil, like, is like you're dealing with obtuse ass doors, you're dealing with like stupid puzzles at times, some like really like like it's really like gamey, and you're like, this is so dumb, but I'm here for, like, it's really like what's the word,
It's sort of a little bit self-aware because I think even in like Resident Evil 3, like Carlos, or he's like, what the hell kind of door is that? Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you need a gem stone to put in this door. It's like, it's very quirky. It's like oh, the guy that designed your local escape room designed this mansion.
Well, yeah, right. Like there's a part in the game, in the very beginning parts of the game, where you have to open a door. Again, not a spoiler, and you have to use a gem to open the door. You do it, and the character's like, how the hell do people get in here usually? Like, it's like, it's like, could you imagine working in this hospital? Hey, you guys want to go to the break room? Yeah, sure. Ah, shit, where's the gem? Oh, Donnie had it. Hey, Donnie, you got the gem? Oh, I put it in the vat of goo. You gotta go with the vat of goo. Like,
but he dropped it in the toilet.
Oh, and you gotta flush the toilet 9 times to get it. It's like, all right, man. Like, what were you thinking? But, yeah, Grace's sections are very well designed. I think that what she does in her sections is like really fun, and I think that like the horror and the scares that they're able to build really really shine well in the game. And I think that having like a well, I won't say because it's a little bit of spoiler, but regardless, it's a really well designed section, and I think that I would put it at the top of like my list of like really fun horror segments in a game to like go through. I would like do it again happily. Like when I was doing it the second time or third time, I was like, oh, like this is great. You know, like this is really, really fun.
Yeah. No, I agree, dude. There's a part when you play as Grace at the very beginning where you enter a room and you read a children's book, and it sets the tone so well. You're like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, the children's book. Yeah.
I was like, dude, what is this? I was like, yeah. But it also, in terms of setting tone, the Grace's voice actress, dude, such a great job.
Fantastic.
Like, honestly,
she killed it.
Like, yeah, like the
what is her
very
name?
convincing with the performance. Honestly, way better than Leon.
You
like,
think so?
I mean, but granted, well, okay, because Leon, like it's a
Angela Santalbano. That's probably super wrong. Killed it as Grace. Super recommend like her for any role in the future. Like it's I would say equivalent to hearing the Shadowheart and Mael voice actor for the first time. You're like, whoa, she's really good. Jennifer English. Right? That kind of like talent. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Because no, like she embodied the character so well. Like you can tell like the stutters that she had when is coming from like a fear that someone that's behind a desk now it gets thrown into this kind of world. How do they react? Never has held a gun before, type of thing.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah.
So you feel that sort of sense, not necessarily dread, but like that sense of fear manifesting in action and in voice. Like even when you're aiming, the gun is shaking so much. You know, it's
unless you get stabilizers. Yeah, I think Grace's sections are really good, really excellent. Leon's sections, I think, are really fun, and I think they do a really good job of mimicking. Well, okay, I think for what they do a good job of mimicking Resident Evil 4 remakes stuff. But I felt as though Leon's sections were not as in depth and as not as like crazy as Resident Evil 4's remake stuff was. And it's not a bad thing, but I'm saying for the context, it makes total sense, right? Resident Evil 4 remake, you're playing as Leon the entire time. So that system really needs to be flushed out. Here, while you're playing as Leon for quite a big portion of the game, because you're switching between two characters, there could be a little bit of a lack of depth from each character, kind of. You know, like I don't mean to talk bad about it.
They're building two games.
Exactly.
In that.
Yeah. So I definitely felt as though Leon had, and maybe this is just because I played it differently, but I think I felt as though Leon had less kit here. Well, actually, no, he definitely did have less kit here in terms of weapons and things like that, right? But I think that they handled it well. It's not a critique in terms of it's bad, but I'm just wanted to point that out that like I definitely think that Leon's sections compared to Resident Evil 4 had less kit, but it made sense as to why. I still really enjoyed it, you know? I also think they captured Leon's like goofy shit really well. His one-liners, his his action hero bit of like, oh, you're a big boy now, like him, like when he like fights like a really fat enemy or whatever, or like when he goes through a door and all the zombies wake up, he's like, of course, like I found myself saying the same shit he was saying, like where I walk through a door and like all the zombies in the room that were previously not dead wake up or not alive wake up, and I'm like, oh, of course, and he says it like, oh, of course, like right after that. I'm like, okay, well, he gets it, you know?
Yeah. He like. They lean into the one-liners more than usual.
Yeah,
but
it's corny, but I had fun with it. I like it.
It works. I really like it. It's part of the character. He's like, it's like there's like a big guy, and he's like, oh, time to put you on a diet or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Just saying dumb stuff like.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because people on Twitter were doing a trend. We're like, they're like
Leon versus other people or anything.
Yeah, this is your Final Fantasy. or he goes up to like Freddy. He's like,
I don't need 5 nights. I could.
Yeah. It's gonna take one night or something.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
It's really fun, and I think not getting too far into it without spoilers, but Leon's sections are really fun. I do think that because the game is structured the way that it is, overall, I think the two characters together are overall a weaker package, but each character individually is really fantastic to play as. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah. But overall, really liked it. I'm still giving it a 9 out of 10. I would actually rank it in my personal list of RE games that I've like played through completion, all that stuff. I would still put RE4 Remake, RE8, and then this one at third best. They're all really good, and they're all like at 9 out of 10s or like 9.5 out of 10s. But that's my personal ranking of those of that like kind of the immediate 3 that I just played recently. So
it's a great game, honestly. I would want to give it a 9. I think it's just I was not one of those things where I was like super blown away by it. The story is not the craziest thing. It's like, I think, par for the course of a Resident Evil.
I'm not gonna lie, some of the story shit was really dumb, but we can pivot into. So all right, we will now be going into spoilers. Wee woo spoilers.
Okay. If you don't want spoilers, go back to the other timestamps.
Yeah, if you don't want spoilers,
or go forward.
Go forward. There's timestamps of the podcast episode.
Well, I just like Sisyphus bouldered whoever's listening. If you don't want timestamps, go back. It's a time loop. And then they go back and they listen to it, and they're like, "No, I don't want spoilers."
Podcast timestamp, and then if you're on the YouTube channel, we have other videos. Check those out. Okay.
Or just watch. Or actually, wait. Or actually, no. I'm so stupid.
Or. Okay, go ahead.
Because I was like, oh well, if you're watching the standalone video, go to the rest of the podcast.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. That's what I said. Mine's
like
inclusive.
A choose your own adventure.
Mine's inclusive. You know, it includes that bit.
Okay, dude.
Okay. Spoilers for Resident Evil 9. What?
Okay, so the game has multiple endings.
Okay,
I picked the wrong ending.
He did pick the wrong ending.
Dude, it's hilarious how much the game is like, bro, you for real picked the wrong ending. Because the premise of the game, right, at the very end, right, is there's a super weapon called Elpis, which in my brain I was like, oh, this is just like it's just a guy trying to say Elvis, but he got the letters wrong. So the lower was like weird in my head. So it's a super weapon that the founder of Umbrella was wanting to unleash
Spencer.
on the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it turns out that
That's
like
what that's what the game wants you to think for the entire game. That it's a super weapon. That it's like it's like the key to holding untold power and all this stuff in the universe and all that. But yeah.
Yeah. So in my thing was like, oh, like because you listen to a video of him talking about, and he's like, oh, humanity is doomed. They have false hope. Blah 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 blah. I regret everything I did in my life. I'm like, okay, this guy. Okay, so that's what I got. So then you go at the very end. It's like, Grace, you know the truth. What are you supposed to do? And it's like you apparently know the secret passcode. So I'm like, oh, obviously this guy regrets his life, so he wants to destroy everything. So I'm like, oh yeah, just destroy Elpis, and then you destroy it, and Leon gets domed in the head.
Bro, Leon, no, he doesn't get domed. His shit gets blown smooth off.
Yeah.
He's gone because they show earlier the guy who shoots the Wesker Light, who shoots Leon in the head after choosing this ending. His gun is capable of blowing heads off of fully armored individuals. So Leon takes that point
gun
blank.
shoots like tank shells.
Oh
literally.
yeah, quite literally. Yeah, it's like literally like a tank shell. So Leon gets domed to the head. His head is gone. They don't even show it because it's like you don't want to see this. But
it's really bad. And so it's like you do this segment, and it's like, oh, the platform just like you're in this like secret lab. You're always in a secret lab. So the platform blows up, everything goes crazy, and then the game like it's like this segment's like 2 minutes long, and then you just get like the most basic cut to black kind of credits, and then it's like, and the game's like, oh, do you want to see the other ending maybe? it's like the most like, buddy, are you sure? Yes, no, and I'm like, all right, sure, let's go play the other ending, and the other ending is literally like another 30 minutes of game plus like a fully
a boss fight. You remove the boss.
A boss fight, yeah. A whole boss fight that I missed, a whole 30 minutes of cutscenes, and then a whole stylized credit sequence with music and the cinematics and all this design stuff. And I was like, wow, they really want you to know that one ending is the canon ending.
Absolutely.
Like,
well, because also once you do the canon ending, they release this thing called Grace's report, Grace Ashcroft's report. It's a 60-page document that you can read that details all the way up from Resident Evil, I think 1, all the way up to now. And it's like a story of what Umbrella did, who was involved, where all that stuff. And it's like literally like hey, Umbrella is done. This is what's going on. So like they really reward you for like choosing the right ending, obviously, because they need it for the next for whatever. But yeah, Ahmed texted me. He's like, bro, were you not supposed to destroy Elpis? And I was like, dog, how like.
No, okay. I asked him what ending did you get. He's like, oh, I got this ending. He's like, please tell me you didn't destroy Elpis.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I saw both endings, but it's like
Yeah, well, but backtracking a little bit, right? The game. So I guess I kind of want to go through the game chronologically just a little bit because it's like I have thoughts throughout the entire game, right?
Yeah. Lay them out.
The care center. One of the most well-designed, like, horror, like, experiences, survival horror experiences, like, that you are dealing with, right? I think every zombie placement and every zombie interaction is bespoke and really well thought out. There's not that many zombies. There's not, like, a crazy amount, but the ones that are in there are very strategically placed and a lot of fun to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the game, which is really good, I'm glad they do this, on insanity mode, they change up some of the zombie placements and interactions and encounters on that playthrough, the insanity playthrough, which is the most difficult version of the game. So when you're in a place and you're expecting, oh, there's gonna be a zombie here, he's not there, he's actually behind you, or like he's in this other area. So there's that like kind of thing to kind of deal with, or like to figure out. So if you want some replay value, that's there. But overall, the care center is really good. I definitely think that if you know how to play a Resident Evil game, you can wipe the floor in the care center as Grace. So much so that when I went through with Leon, I went through all the areas. I went through like the care center because they have you go through it as Leon as well. Went through all the areas, like did every room as Leon, and I was like, there is literally nothing for me to do except for getting the goodies that Grace left behind for Leon, because I have literally killed everything in the care center as Grace.
Yeah.
They give so much loot to you, and if you're smart with how you use the Requiem ammo, which is the big revolver they give you that's like a, one hit kill for most zombies, you can quite literally I think the problem, not problem, but I think the thing that really sold it or like made it really easy is that blood sucker, by the way, the blood sucker tool, just black magic at that point. Like you're just sucking up blood, and you can like combine it with scraps to make bullets. Like, all right, man, like it's really goofy, but once you get the recipe for like Requiem ammo, or like once you get the recipe for like handgun ammo, you can just kill zombies like forever, right?
Yeah, because you can make scraps out of everything. There was someone online that was saying that you can take the unique coins and make scrap out of it.
Yeah, if you had enough. Yeah.
So it's yeah, you definitely, it has options for people.
And I would also say that like the hemolytic injectors, which are the stealth one hit kills, I will be honest, I don't know if they should be in the game because they're so overpowered. I was able to kill the chef. I was able to kill all the screaming zombies. I was able to kill like everything with those. I just had like 5 in my inventory at one time. I just killed everything. And like the chef was like a really annoying bit, but when I snuck up behind him and killed him, it's like instant pop. He's gone.
Yeah.
And then that left me with like extra Requiem bullets because they're saying, hey, they should expect you to use the Requiem bullets on there. I mean, you don't have to, but like generally most people use a Requiem on the chef. So then I had like 5 bullets, so I just unloaded them into Chunk, and then he died after 2 or 3. So then Chunk was gone. I didn't have to deal with him. Like there's different things like that. And it's not bad. I'm not saying it in a way where it's like it's really bad, but like the game really rewards you if you know what you're doing in terms of a Resident Evil game, and I kind of like that about it.
Yeah, no, it was good. I think I wish there was more like inventory management. Like, okay, it's fine. I say this and like I kept running out of space.
Yeah, he did.
But I wish like it let you just swap things and put things on the floor and just instead of destroying it.
Yeah.
But it was still like that's not like a big gripe. From the story perspective, I hope that this is like the end for Leon, because I don't know, like just let the guy relax, bro. Like because the ending was like basically like he gets cured from his disease.
He has AIDS the entire game basically, and he's
and then they literally just like like, oh dude, we found the magic cure, and he's like, oh dude, look, my hand's not black anymore.
And he's also like, I've never felt better in years. It's like, all right, he's coming back for like 30 more games. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think Leon's combat felt excellent. I think it felt really good. I think it was really fun to do. I am a little bummed at the weapon selection. I don't think there was enough weapons in the game for Leon. There was like one alternative weapon for each kind of for each gun. Like the pistol had the main pistol and then the secondary pistol, and like that's it. And I'm kind of like, that's it, Yeah,
I mean, because I feel like I would gravitate, like in other games, I would just gravitate to like one of each.
No, for sure. I would also do the same, but I like the idea of like if I wanted to go back and play through it again, I have like for Resident Evil 4 remake, right? I went back and I beat the game with the Red 9, and then I went back again. I beat the game with like the Punisher. It's a different style of play. It's a different kind of gun, a different kind of pistol. But here you have the silenced pistol or the other pistol, and that's it. And they're both virtually the same, except for one is silent, one isn't. So that's like something to consider. You have one rifle or the other rifle. You have one. Yeah, they gave you multiple shotgun types, I guess, but like realistically, they're all low key the same. I feel like. But I think his combat, the axe was great. I think using the axe was a lot of fun. The parrying mechanic and things like that. The spider boss. What do you think about that?
Very random, dude. I don't know. It was kind of mid.
Okay. I also
didn't really
move
move the needle.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, or rather, I'm glad they did a new enemy type, but it didn't really like shock me with how like his gameplay I felt like wasn't spider like. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty
Yeah.
felt like a pretty
And
standard
honestly,
just poop it.
I'm thinking back. I don't even remember any of the bosses. Like they were pretty like the what's it- like the or Mr. X boss fight was like really simple.
Oh, it was very simple. Yeah, I will say I
Yeah.
think Leon's segment, all of his story bits were very much a callback to some earlier game, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil like 3, exploring Raccoon City. Like,
Yeah.
I think that middle bit of Leon doing Raccoon. I think the Raccoon City bit is fun. Like the building bit with the broken glass. There's like an area where you're walking around and you're on basically a collapsed building, and you're standing on the window panes. The way the building's oriented, the floor is the window panes, and you can shoot the window panes to make it fall. I got really annoyed at this part because I thought it was really cool to like. I jumped onto the glass and I was like, oh, it cracks. Let me try and shoot the glass to see if it breaks. And sure enough, there was a zombie standing. I shot it and it breaks. The second after I did that, I took a step forward and then there's a big in-game tutorial. Hey, by the way, and it's like, okay, man, like I got it. Like I would have really enjoyed. Like I figured it out, but I would have preferred a world where they didn't have this tidbit, so that if you are playing the game for the first time and you walk into this scenario, you're like, I wonder, and then you explore that idea. You know, showing instead of telling, because they do a good job of showing it, but they kind of just straight up just tell you right after, which I kind of thought was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
But that's like a little bit of a gripe.
Yeah, there was watching this dude on YouTube, Nakey Jakey.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He had the same exact point here. He was like, bro, I would have been so cool to figure out. And then they're like, yo, bro, do you know the glass breaks? And then there's another point later in the game where it's like, oh my god, Leon is so sick. He's gonna randomly just cough up blood and your screen's gonna get purple.
Which also
Like,
didn't
just
feel like,
random.
I feel like that didn't even affect my game when I
Yeah,
it's like, all right, man, like by the way, bang bang, like the zombies are dead.
Yeah. This is random. Okay, something I actually reminds me. This game has amazing animation.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
Like so when you're playing as Leon, if you get hit, like and you're like staggering and you aim while you're staggered, it like he's like aiming from the hip because like he doesn't have good like positioning.
Yeah.
And so your aim is like screwed up until you like
You
get
recenter
a minute
yourself
and
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was so interesting to see that because like it looks like he's holding the gun with one hand, and it's like, oh, they thought about this because like obviously you're gonna be getting hit a lot, so it's cool that they added this in.
Yeah. Well, also the fun bit was the custom animation like kills, like when you go up to someone and they're critically low and you shoot them point blank, he does like a cool like animation, like he shoves a shotgun in their mouth and he blows their head off, or like he like uppercuts them with a pistol and their head explodes like because he's shooting it, or like the Requiem where he like spins around them and he like kicks their knee out and he blasts their head. Like such cool animations. So I did three playthroughs. First one on normal, second one a speedrun one without any blood or healing items, so that I could get like enough points to get infinite ammo. And then my third run was insanity mode with infinite ammo. And that infinite ammo run is really fun because I had an unlimited ammo rocket launcher, so all the boss fights were virtually pointless. I had an infinite ammo Requiem, which was also a lot of fun because these enemies were like a little bit more spongy, so when you had a Requiem and like you blow their head off, it's like a really satisfying pop. So the bit where you go into the police station as Leon and that officer comes by, you know, and you kill him, he's like, oh, rest easy, officer. I walked up to him with the Requiem and I did the whole special animation where I blew his head off. And it's like rest easy, officer. It's like, bro, yeah, okay, man, all right. But what did you
get the little Easter egg of Tofu Jill?
I didn't know. I didn't see that. I missed it, but
Okay.
I saw it afterwards.
I saw it
on
by
YouTube
accident,
video.
dude. It was such a whiplash because I saw it by accident and I was like, bro, this guy is coughing up blood. This guy is like the world's ending, and a freaking little tofu with the hat just
Yeah,
was hopping around. I was like, what is this?
I thought it was. I saw it on YouTube, but afterwards I was like, oh, that's pretty cute. I didn't play Resident Evil 2 Requiem. I didn't play Resident Evil 2 Remake or Resident Evil 2 Original. So the Raccoon Police Department bit didn't hit me as hard.
Okay.
But it was still really cool to see, and I it's one of those things where I recognize the nostalgia bit because it's like, okay, like I hear the music, I see all the puzzles, like all this stuff, but it just, for me, it didn't hit that hard because I didn't engage with it. But you did, right? Like, I mean, were you like, oh, this is here?
Yeah, because like you realize like how small the the police station is.
Yep.
Because like you go through and I'm like, oh dude, I had to juke Mr. X at this point
Yep.
in the library, and then I remember this is you have to put like the coins here, or not the coins, you have to press
Like the dials in a certain order or whatever,
the
right?
dials to get the
Yeah, yeah,
medallion or
yeah.
something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was neat. And then you realize like, oh, this is the one door where like this guy was, and so
Yeah,
it was neat.
I agree. In terms of
Like
like,
it's nice that they combine both things. So like there's definitely like a part like you can see the places in like Resident Evil 3 as well, because 2 and 3 take place in Raccoon City. It just has different and yeah, you get to see all the whole kind of life cycle. It's interesting.
yeah, exactly. And I so I gave it a 9 out of 10, right? As I said earlier, I think the ending story was really stupid in terms of like, Grace, we got to get off this platform. All right, totally makes sense. Leon, where do we go now? Back to the platform. Why? Like, they didn't have the Elpis information at that point, but they're both making their way back up to that platform that they just escaped. And they walked back up, and the guy, the Wesker Light, who, by the way, don't even know why he was in the game, but he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like that's a good point. They didn't explain who this guy was. They're like, oh yeah, this is Zeno. Bro,
He's like
where's
a
Wesker?
Illuminati.
I don't think
Well,
I don't
Wesker's
think
dead.
Wesker died.
He did die. He's dead.
When did he die?
RE5.
In 6?
5.
In 5. He's not coming back.
No, dude, he's like dead. He's like in lava and ash. He got blown up with a rocket launcher. That's like definitive in Resident
Okay,
Evil.
I'll be honest. I had when I was younger, I had rented Resident Evil 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to the point where I was supposed to be punching the boulder
Yeah,
as well as
it's Chris.
Chris, and I could not tap hard enough, and the game had to be returned the next day, and I was like, damn it, I don't know.
Damn.
So I really don't know what happened.
You could never waterboard that information out of me.
What do you mean?
Quitter.
Okay, because first off, wait. When you're mashing the boulder, they're like, oh, press like square and circle at the same time, like two opposite buttons, and I'm out here.
Sure, buddy, sure. But regardless, yeah, I think the story is really stupid. But that's fine. Like I'm not expecting like the world's like best quality of things, you know, from a Resident Evil game specifically when it comes to story. I think that Leon's section as well, I think very much like benefits from, if you've played a Resident Evil game, you kind of know what to deal with. So for example, I was walking into a room and I saw a bunch of like people in like the glass containers. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna deal with this now, so when I have to come through this door later, I won't have to deal with them again. And sure enough, walked through a room, killed all those enemies in the glass things, left, came back, and then they're like, oh, enemies are being released, and it's like, oh, no one's here because they're all dead, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of goofy, but it was fun regardless. I do think after seeing Zeno and the way he moved and stuff, I think they're gonna make a Resident Evil 5 remake.
Oh,
I think it's coming. What'd you say? You said, oh, for sure?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the current rumor is between that and also a Code Veronica remake.
Well, apparently it's between Code Veronica and 1 right now, and then it might be a 5. So we'll see how it goes. I kind of wish the game was longer. I don't know if you also felt the same, but I feel like it felt a little short.
Yeah. I think considering that it's 2 experiences, like they're probably gonna add like a mercenaries mode too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, they're working on a story expansion, they said. So
yeah.
Whatever that might look like. I think I also give it a 9 out of 10 because I think Grace's sections were very front loaded. Okay, actually, we didn't talk about it at all. The girl persistent enemy, very interesting to deal with.
The girl
the big monster that follows you around. She's called the girl.
Oh yeah.
I really liked like dealing with her, figuring out how to like get around her, and like, you know, there were definitely some scary bits with her, and I liked that Mr. X feel of like someone chasing you throughout and is like really smart and is able to take out the lights and kind of get to you You know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when she took out the lights, I was like, "Oh my god,
Hmm.
dude,
Hmm.
please."
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, dude, this is so simple." And I was like, "Dude, I'm actually just beelining it." Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if I just cheesed it, but it didn't. Like the second time she comes up, when you're in like the sewers, it wasn't that bad. I felt like the game was like, okay, you're gonna have pockets where she's gonna show up and then where she's not gonna show up. It didn't feel as
Yeah, fair
spontaneous,
enough. I
but
would agree with that. It didn't feel as bad, but I think you're also at a point in that game where it's like, okay, now you kind of get it, like
yeah, yeah,
how to
yeah.
maneuver around her, like figure it out from there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that overall the game is really good. I think that the game suffers from being the ninth one in a saga of like, all right, what shenanigans is Umbrella up to now? You know, like so they needed a way to like tie it off with a bow, if that makes sense. Um, Overall, I think pretty great package, and I'm glad I played it. What is it? Game of the year contender for you? Do you think?
Uh, Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree as
Like
well.
I could see it. Like if when they add the story DLC and then they add mercenaries, and I think definitely for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I there isn't anything else, right? Like game of the year, you'd pick like 5 games.
Hmm.
I think for sure that would make it up there. Uh,
Isn't GTA 5 coming out this year or six? Or is it next year?
supposedly this year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay, fair. But
yeah.
yeah, that was
Man, we
our.
talked a long time for this. The heck?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot to say. But thank you guys for listening to the Resident Evil 9 spoiler talk. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump to the next bit, which is. Oh, let me write this down here. You watched Project Hail Mary, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You watch it? You did, right?
I did, yes. Yeah, I did.
You
I
watched
did.
it in you watched it in D box?
I watched it in D box. Yeah. Uh, it was really good in D box. Okay. Also, by the way, we're gonna do welcome to Project Hail Mary movie talk. This one is gonna be same format as our Resident Evil talk, which is beginning half will be non spoilers, and then we'll have a spoiler warning at this timestamp here, right here, timestamp. Yeah, just
Dude,
what?
it's so no, it's just funny because it's the first time we're doing it, and like I look. This is authentic, man. This is what you guys getting real opinions, no AI.
That's actually true. That is very true. But okay, now that we're here, if you want to skip the spoiler talk, you can, or if you want to miss the spoiler talk, you can use the timestamps below. What did you think about Project Hail Mary off the cuff?
Off the cuff, I like I good movie. It's very lighthearted.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. More lighthearted
And I
than I
think
thought it would be, to be honest.
so that's the thing, right? I left the movie, and the people it was, I guess it was a couple or something. It was two people in front of us, and I didn't hear exactly what she was saying, but the girl was like, "It doesn't matter, just enjoy some whimsy in your life," which is the best way I
Mm-hmm,
would
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
describe
Well,
this
we said
movie.
that, right? We said that a couple weeks ago. We were like, dude, like not everything has to be like intense and like crazy. Just like sit down and enjoy some
Yeah,
whimsy,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. It's just and honestly, that's the thing with this movie. If you're gonna go into this movie, just accept the ride, hop in and go. Right? Like I think this is the beauty of not. I legitimately did not know anything about this movie except when I was doing jury duty. Which actually, wait, side point. I didn't even mention that in my previous week. I did jury duty. Okay. Anyways,
Oh yeah.
coming back. Okay. One of the guys, one of the jurors that I was with, he was like, "Oh, that because the case that we were on was kind of not depressing, but it was like just weighed a little bit heavy." And he's like, "I can't wait. I can't wait for the weekend so that I can go watch Project Hail Mary because I need to pick me." So that's the only thing I knew
Mm.
about this movie is that I guess that it was gonna be somewhat lighthearted.
Okay, so you didn't
Uh,
read the books, or the
no,
book rather.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't read anything.
Hmm.
But it was a really good movie. I think leans more into sci-fi.
Yes, Very much
leans
so.
more into sci. It's because like this is the same guy that did The Martian. So if you like The Martian, you probably would like this. But it's The
I would
Martian
agree.
was The Martian was the premise was much more realistic. This one, not as
It could be
much.
realistic.
They
You don't
lean.
know.
Well, okay, sure. But okay, what did you think?
I would say the movie was excellent. I liked it right up there with The Martian. I read the book, so it's a great like movie to have after you've read the book to see like, oh, like it's a nice supplemental movie. I think they definitely obviously cut things from the book to here, but it is very much a uh like what they cut made a lot of sense, you know. I thought it was really good. I really liked where it went, and I liked how it ended, and obviously like that was pretty consistent with the books. I think that um I actually did not think Ryan Gosling was going to be a good casting for it, even though he bought the rights and he bought it so he could play the character. But he really killed it. I was actually very surprised that he did as well as he did. Not that he's a bad actor, but that more so that I liked him as much as I did. You know?
Yeah, because I think there's a certain amount of comedic relief that's in this movie that doesn't feel very forced.
Yes.
And I think he nails that really well.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
Overall, I would give it like a solid, like, I think 9 out of 10, to be honest. I think my main issue was like some of the pacing. I think at the beginning was a little fast. But that's not to say like it was bad. It makes sense why it was fast the way that what they depending on like because of all the stuff that they had to show.
Yeah,
you know?
you have to get into potatoes of things.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say so as well. Like I think I don't know. I'm because this is I'm like blurring whoever's watching these two videos like what the hell. Like when we talked about Resident Evil 9, I was also like I'm debating between 8.5 or 9, but I was like I don't want to be contrarian for the sake of it, but like I think both things can also be 9, where like I don't have a reason to just stock off a point except because I would feel like I don't want to give something a 10 or a 9 unless like it like moved me and like, oh my god, this is the best thing, everybody has to see it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I feel like it's like I did call up my parents. I was like, dude, you guys have to go see the movie.
Oh, really?
Something nice. Well, because my parents are like they're like older immigrants. They just want like
a chill
vibe. But
that's also something. Sorry. Actually, finish the thought.
Yeah, no, because I was gonna say because my mom was just like I was talking to her on the phone. She's like I can't do any more action movies. I was like, oh, she's also like I'm tired of these like rom-coms or whatever where the guy's just trying to string a girl along just to break her heart. Why? You're not even gonna marry her.
Yeah.
So she's like, so I was like, Mama, you're gonna really like this movie. I was like, oh, like, do you remember The Martian? And then she's like, what? The marshmallow? Oh my god.
Well, I was just about to jump on that and agree with your parents because I can't remember the last time I watched a movie like this. I think Sinners was the last one, but like I walked out the theater, I was like, oh man, like that was a fun like experience. You know, like I would like to do that again eventually. You know, like to like have more movies like this. It was a good breath of fresh air.
Recommend.
Very high recommend. Okay. Spoiler talk. If you don't want to get spoiled on Project Hail Mary, this is where you leave. Or if you're on the podcast, jump ahead to the timestamp below. Okay. I think that the game, oh, not the game, the
game.
I think the movie was really good, and I think that the trailer showed too much.
Oh, that's the thing. I didn't watch any trailers at all.
Okay,
I'm adamantly team no trailer for anything.
Okay,
except I ended up watching the trailer for Spider-Man, but that's a separate point. But anyway,
yeah, whatever. That's Spider-Man, you know, he's in a swig. Yeah, I don't. I think the trailer. So the trailer just shows Rocky.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the advertisements also showed Rocky, where they're like, "Oh, Rocky, you're buying movies," and that's like, dude, I would have preferred not to know that these guys get along. I would prefer not even showing me the alien. You know, like why?
Yeah, and I think so. Having read the book, I'm trying to make sure everyone knows that I read. Basically. When I read the book, I think the culture of like behind like when you're telling people you're reading and stuff like that, people are very good about not saying anything. They're like, oh, it's really good. Like, just keep reading. When you get to the point, you'll see like the big twist. You'll really like it. Okay. And then when I read that there's like aliens, to the point when I got to that point, I was like, oh, what the? This is awesome. Like, I was very pleasantly surprised, you know? And I think people who have not read the book but are going to watch the movie would have also enjoyed that level of surprise. But I also low-key kind of understand why they had to show that in the trailer, because with that's like 90% of the movie, what makes it really good.
Yeah.
I still don't
Not
like
really
it,
sure.
but you know,
Yeah.
I think
No.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
No, go
yeah.
for it. You go.
No, I was just gonna say there isn't really a villain in the movie, but they make one person of like Loki make one person kind of a villain,
Who?
and the main
Oh, the Dutch lady.
the Dutch lady.
Yeah. The head of the
She's
program.
like, all right, bro, you're involuntary. Humanity needs you, and then she basically just drugs him and then just throws him in the face. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
So it's interesting because they handle her character in the book with more depth. Obviously, they can't do that with the movie, so it totally makes sense. But in the book, she is seen as a character who's created out of necessity. She has a fundamental hold on the Project Hail Mary project and like solving this problem of like the sun being eaten by these like, you know, these little things. She does things that like for lack of a better term is insane. Like, she goes like, the earth is like getting slowly colder. How do they solve that? Oh, they take the Sahara Desert and just pave over like tens of thousands of miles in it, or whatever the case is, however much, with just like black asphalt and solar panels, so they can store energy from the sun while they still have it, and heat up the earth's like environment and melt the polar ice caps, like to help like keep the earth warm, you know? So like stuff like that, where it's like, dude, that's like crazy. And she sort of says like, dude, I'm gonna go to jail after all this is done. Like, after I save the earth, I'm probably gonna get court-martialed and like arrested and like never spoken to again. But right now, my purpose is to save humanity. And so she does the necessary thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so in the book, they had them bond with the characters. They have them like it shows her, you know how they had the karaoke scene in the movie. There's more of that in the books, and they can extrapolate in the books of like how she is, and like Grace and her like are like friends and all this stuff, so that when the whole twist of like you're forced to go happens, you feel it a lot more of like, dude, this sucks, but low-key I kind of get it, you know?
Yeah.
Because also in the books, what happens is that I don't know if they say this in the movie. I can't remember them doing so, but when it finds out that the two scientists who were gonna like the backup and the non-backup die in that explosion, because of like the miscalculation of how much astrophage to mess with, she's like, dude, you need to go, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna go. And she eventually like, she pins him down. She's like, hey, you need to go. And as he's about to go under, he's like, I'm gonna sabotage the mission. If you make me go, I'm going to sabotage the mission. So she's like, you won't, because you're not going to remember to do so. And he's like, what? She's like, we're going to give you some anesthesia or amnesia drug. Yeah. So that's why he doesn't remember anything when he wakes up. And that's kind of the journey you take with him as well. When you start the book, you're like, I don't know what's going on. I have no recollection of anything, you know? Which they had to speed through in the beginning of this, because obviously like it's a movie, it's a limited time. That's why I'm like 9 out of 10. I think there's like some pacing stuff, but also understandable why there's that pacing stuff, you know?
Yeah. That's interesting that I because like it's interesting that like you brought up the thing about the Sahara Desert, because I was thinking, it's like, oh, like why can't they, like if they like low key they have like infinite energy with like the astrophage.
Technically,
like, yeah, because it's attracted to like a certain signature of like CO2 or infrared of CO2.
Yeah,
something, I don't know. Actually, Loki, like they like waved their hands and did some science CBS.
There's a lot of science in the book. It's a lot. It's to a point where you're like, all right, I'm gonna just like skip a page or two, because it's a lot. I don't really understand what's going on here.
I don't need all of this right now.
Yeah,
but like I was just thinking, I was like, bro, like can't you just, if the astrophage has enough heat to burn like a ton of steel super easily, you just use it to, I don't know, just heat up a generator or something. I don't know. This is like smooth brain talking right now.
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, they have enough to propel a giant ass ship
Well, they bred it, right?
how
They
many
made it.
like yeah, but like but you can viably do something with it, I guess. I don't know. This
Yeah.
is my thought.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
But like it sounds like in the book they maybe
They
attempted to
do
do something
explain
like
it.
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah, yeah.
because it's more so the
But
problem isn't that they don't have enough energy. The problem is the Earth is physically getting colder. So like crops are
colder, yeah.
dying and like all these the tides are like there's a bunch of stuff
Bro,
that's
just
going
make it
on.
hotter. What do you mean? See, that's
Just
what
turn
I'm
up the AC,
saying.
bro. What are you doing?
Bro, see, like, put me in, coach. I can do this, bro. This is, like, what are you saying, man? I just, have you turned on the AC? Turn on the heater?
What are you, an idiot? You don't know what's going on?
Yeah. Okay, bro, I can move the waves. Just
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
yeah. Just,
But
I'm given like, plug the extension cord into itself. That's a,
why don't we take Bikini Bottom and put her
when I
over
was in
there?
kindergarten, when I was in kindergarten, I was like, Dad, check this out. I was like, it's gonna work. Oh my god. Anyway,
We lost the house. It's on fire.
yeah.
But overall, great movie. I'm putting it up there with The Martian personally, and I really really liked it. It was such a fun, like it's definitely. Oh, I guess to talk about it, I did see it in D-Box. I don't know if it's worth D-Box specifically, in my opinion, but it's worth IMAX for sure, I think. What about you? Did you see standard or what?
I saw it in IMAX or Dolby.
Okay.
I saw it in,
Oh, nice. Okay, how's Dolby?
yeah, it was good. Think I like it. I think I like The Martian a little bit more.
Okay.
Like I saw one that was just like, oh, dude, you gotta enjoy the whimsy. I think the movie was a little too teary, but you need to pick me up in general, right? I think this movie is just a good pick. Like, so I think if you're going with the premise of this is like a suspenseful movie, it's not. It's more upbeat. So, but compared to The Martian, I think I like The Martian more. And but I would say I think I like that this movie has a unique ending. And I like the when they went to that one planet, and they did the astrophage capture.
Yeah.
And it like was such a beautiful captured scene. I really like the cinematography. Just want to call that bit out.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, that
I
was
would agree.
That was a really amazing piece.
I will also say that the little tidbit for you. Tau Ceti is where Marathon takes place. So just over there, there's some people dying. Just thought you'd like to know.
Speaking of marathon, see that would have been a great segment into the
we did
gaming
not play
podcast.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you know what? This would be a good segment to the rest of the podcast. And if you are on YouTube, we do have a podcast. Go to our channel and watch us. If you're on Spotify or whatever, all the podcasts. Thank you for sticking around.
yes. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the game. Well, actually, thanks for listening. If you're on YouTube, appreciate it. Check out the podcast.
we're working. This is the first time we're doing this, but we're here.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. But okay. What is the first bit of news that we got going on here? Let's see.
Discord.
Oh.
Honestly, this might be a little older, but we're still using Discord, so
yeah, we're
must be
catching up
good
with news
news.
from like a couple weeks ago. So if we repeat some old
Yeah.
stuff, don't worry about it. But
yeah.
yeah, okay. Let's see what is
The
Discord
second
saying,
tower.
Ahmed?
It's all reacts all.
But Discord came out and said getting global age assurance right, what we got wrong and what's changing. They released a big newsletter, which will be in the podcast link, podcast like description. Okay, God, there's a lot that changed in between now and last time we talked about it.
Yeah.
You go for it, because I'm trying to make sure.
Well, I honestly better. I was just trying to see what they're. So I guess history, right? Discord is like, hey, I think they implemented this like in other countries, but like I think they're rolling this out like worldwide. But they're like, hey, we want to ensure that users aren't exposed to things that they should be exposed to, right? So in the case of like kids, an underage, like people that aren't adults. They want to make sure like, hey, you guys are interacting with randos, and you're not seeing content that you're not supposed to see because uh, this sounds like they're like gearing up to go public and not be a private company anymore. And these types of things like hurt your stock. People don't want to put money if you're allowing pedophiles to talk to kids. Kind of.
What?
So like,
You
okay,
sure?
Roblox, take a lesson, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so they went out and said, hey, we're gonna add this age verification thing.
Side note, they're also like that. What you said is correct, but also they're planning on selling your data to people like other companies and all that stuff. So there's also that's also a primary reason they're doing this too.
That low key comes with like everything nowadays sells your data, but yes, that is true.
Yeah.
So they roll out this age verification thing, and where you basically just have to upload a picture of your ID. Where they're like, oh, the only thing we need from this is just to know that you have a birthday and you say who you say you are. And it turns out the provider that they were using was backed to one of the Palantir co-founders.
Palantir. It's my boy.
And so so people are like, hey, that's really weird. Like, why are you tied to this one company that's known for taking all of people's data and doing mass surveillance against them? And I'm tying my online persona to my ID, and you're gonna have all that information. Then I think either previously or around the same time they get hacked, and I think it was like 70K or either 70K or 700K worth of people's data.
There was a lot of people's data that was like just like leaked, and like people were like, hey, you guys said you don't store the data, but like literally you said that last year, and now like the people's data is out in the wild. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So there's a lot of like distrust against Discord right now.
Yep.
So they released this whole article about like what they got wrong, like what they're gonna change. And I think at the very bottom, because I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but we can get into like what they're saying that they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I read it a bit ago, so there's
yeah. You can give 2 cents on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is not like people should not trust this to be like when they roll this feature out, do not upload your data. Like, that's something that's very easy to not do.
Yeah.
And they also said, by the way, this is something that like they can guess your age and all this stuff by like your account data. So they already basically know what's going on. So like they don't need to implement this, but they're doing it for the data purposes and all that stuff. So what's changing right now is you go for it.
No, I was gonna, because like that one line that says 90% of users are gonna continue using it without the age verification prompt. This is gonna be if you try to access age restricted content. Or also like if you try to access age restricted content and you're not automatically verified that you're adult. So like the way Hedy was saying, they can guess your age based off of like different parameters. So if they can guess your age and you try to access adult stuff, then they're like, okay. If they don't know your age, then they'll be like, hey, give me proof that you're able to see boobies online.
Yeah. So they are going to add more verification options. They're going to have vendor transparency and like document what the vendor is doing, what they're doing with the data. They're also having like more feedback or more like technical stuff come out before the launch happens. And they'll also include transparency in terms of like who was asked to verify, in terms of how many users, who it affects, all that kind of stuff. But again, said it before, said it again, so I'll say it again. Do not upload your ID to Discord. Do not, do any of that. If you would like to find alternatives, there's TeamSpeak, and that you could do a home server. But if you don't want to use an alternative, which totally understand because Discord has the features and all that kind of stuff, do not upload your ID. That's like the biggest thing here. You don't need to do it to use the data or to use the service. And they said that 90% of people shouldn't have to do it. So stick to that. Do not,
there's no reason, bro.
There's really no reason. Just like there's no reason that we can't do Bloodborne. Just kidding. FromSoft said, nah. So this doesn't have to be like a long story because it's really it's interesting from a sense of like for years Sony has been taking shit of like, hey dude, like release Bloodborne, release Bloodborne, release Bloodborne, and they have continuously, they never said like explicitly no. It's about persistence, but they have just kind of stayed silent on the subject. Turns out that some news came out earlier this week from Bloomberg basically saying that actually it's Miyazaki and his team that have said we don't really want another team to handle the remake slash handle this kind of thing, because they didn't explicitly cite it, but there was rumors going on that when the Demon Souls remake came out, there was too much change from their perspective. So they were like, all right, like no one can do a remake except for us, kind of thing. They were like, they didn't capture the original vision and all that stuff. So Sony, to their credit, I was like, hey, we don't want to ruin this relationship we have with Miyazaki, so we're going to respect his wishes and not do this, do the remake. So that's kind of where that came up. So
it makes sense. Like why, but at the same time, like Miyazaki was like, oh, it's up, like there's like something doesn't sound right, because like, between the two of them, like Miyazaki is like, oh, it's actually in Sony's court, and it's like, if that's the case, so then why is Sony coming back, or someone saying from Sony's side that it's actually FromSoft that blocked this? Someone is not saying the truth. I don't know if this is a thing where like Miyazaki's like, actually, bro, I'm only gonna do the remake if you give me back the rights, kind of thing.
So there's a little bit of he said, she said, Spider-Man pointing going on here. But, you know, we'll see if we see Bloodborne in the future, but I don't.
Because it's not, it sounds like we're not going to be able to play it anytime.
Yeah, well, we can at least play Highguard.
Not anytime soon.
What do you mean? What happened?
Because Highguard sends its high regards. It is, game is RIP. Got shut down. Highguard game that the world wanted to be Concord 2 got the Concord 2. I don't want to, everyone keeps talking about the Concordification. There's just people online are hate watching, but I think, to me, I think this is a victim of the internet being a machine, because had this game just stayed out there and people just stopped hate watching and just overly negative just for the sake of being negative, the game could have had legs to grow a good fan base. But I think it's someone farted in the room and they didn't open the door.
So how I can see what you're saying, and I don't disagree that there is an avid hate watching group that's going on here. I think the difference here, just a little bit, is that I think that the more news that came out about this game, the more doomed it was to fail. It had like a, was it Tencent? Or was it Tencent as an investor?
As a publisher.
Yeah, or a publisher who's notorious for shutting down games, like very recently as well, like just continues to, hey, if you don't make money off of it, like whatever. I think that it was a combination of Jeff also hyping this game up, and it, like, to his credit, or to the credit of, like, not credit, but like in sympathy with the game itself, I think that Jeff hyping it up as much as he did was not great for the game. However, Jeff giving the game the slot and the space that it had, it really boosted the popularity. That game had like a 2 million player count at one point. Like, it would not have had that if Jeff had not given it the shout out. But because of that 2 million player account, now it's like it has a hyper focused lens of like, hey, like, what's going on? Now Tencent has a lot more data to go off of in regards to this game, and like read through it and like say like, hey, like, you guys had 2 million players and you guys did not turn over sales like a fraction of that, you know?
Yeah. I think I agree. Like, there's, like, I feel like there has to be nuance in this, because like the game, honestly, as someone that like wasn't at the time, was not super vibing with the game, like, and maybe like Tencent has like a short leash, and like they're expecting a splash. Like, I don't know if, because like initially this was supposed to be silently released, and what were they expecting had Jeff not came up and given them? I don't know if Tencent, just because of the position of being last in the show, and with all the hype, assumed it was going to be a big hit, and maybe just they didn't want to deal with the backlash of like being known as publishing a stinker that they did this. I don't know, but to me, there were so many people that had gone on Steam, played the tutorial, came out and left a review just so that they can get the I played this tag on, be able to review it. And then you look at the review and it's like, oh, if you filter by playtime, people that played 2 hours would be rating this game a 7 out of 10, but people that played 10 minutes would have been like, oh, this is horrible, like thumbs down. I don't know, dude. Like, granted, the game wasn't good. I feel like it was like one content update away from it being like, had they added creeps or played, like, had they added like NPCs into the game that could have adjusted with the pace and the flow, ebb and flow. But like, it was just sad to see that they that they had to shut the doors, and because like they did a lot of work, even though they have John Highguard as the front face of the game. But
yeah, I think that the game definitely could have been saved had it had enough time, but now with all the extra data points that Tencent had, like, you think of it this way: if you're an agent, a Hollywood agent that has a person who you represent, and some news comes out about them that, like, they're an up and coming actor, let's say, and then some news comes out about them that they're like, hey, they were at the Diddy party, just as an example. That agent, it makes sense to drop them because of all the negative press they're having. They now, like, whether it's like not even at the Diddy party, but like just some association to something that's like horrendous, right? Now it's like, okay, why would the agent kind of stick with this person? Like, it's same regard here. Why would Tencent stick with this studio, this project that is now tainted in the eyes of their audience that they're trying to acquire? Again, hate watchers, all that stuff. It's a very unfortunate scenario, but like, and I'm not here defending Tencent's decision. I think Tencent did pull the plug a little bit too fast, but from the perspective of like, Highguard was cooked the moment it kind of came out with the lack of content, and then it got cooked of like, they're not going to get a chance to kind of expand on it, especially with a backer like Tencent. They don't have sympathy like that, you know? So, you know.
Yeah. Tough out here, Bren.
Yeah, it is not great, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, it sucks because like now we can't play Highguard on our PCs anymore.
No, we cannot, but that's fine. I'll just play, you know.
You can play Ghost of Yote.
Oh, really?
No, you can't.
I actually thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, maybe they announced it, but no.
Yeah.
They actually unannounced it, basically. Sony pulls back from PlayStation games on PC. This is interesting because this is something, and this is reported by Jason Schreier. Essentially what's happening is Sony is going to discontinue the practice of releasing PlayStation games on PC, and one of the main reasons that's being cited is that they released Spider-Man 2. Okay, first off, very stupid data, but they released Spider-Man 2, and it did not do crazy, huge buku bucks like numbers, and then they're like, okay, this is not turning out the way that we thought. We thought we would make a lot more money off of Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna be honest, brother, that game is pretty mid, so like, it's not.
Yeah. I will say honestly, they do like zero marketing when the game comes to PC. So it's like they're just like, why is nobody banging on our doors right now? And it's like, dude, bro, you forgot that Death Stranding, you wanted to play Death Stranding too, but you forgot that it was coming out on PC until like randomly it hit you, right? Like they do a poor job of like, because like they're like, well, we already spent all the marketing on PlayStation, why do we need to market again?
Yeah.
It's their problem, huh?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Hey Google, turn on the study lamp. My light turned off.
Damn, bro, everybody's lamp just turned on, right?
I don't know if you heard that, but sorry, could you repeat that last bit? My light shut off, and I was like, I was distracted. sorry.
Bro, someone in like Europe, their lights just turned on.
Oh, Xbox turn off. Xbox turn off.
No, I was just saying that Sony didn't really market this game uh like for PC.
Spider-Man 2.
So, yeah, they just release it and they're like, why isn't nobody here? It's like imagine like I just go out in the middle of the street and I just put a table like selling lemonade and I didn't do any marketing. Or nobody's buying my lemonade.
Yeah.
That's the vibe they have here.
It's also not a
All
great.
right.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not a great package. I don't think there's enough in that game to justify $60, and I don't think I don't think that this was a particularly huge banger from them, and it's also a multifaceted thing, which will be. This is a running theme between the next two stories as well. They're both PlayStation themed, but I think that it sucks that they're not coming out on PC anymore, and I think that a part of the reason is also that this new Xbox that's coming out is going to be a part PC game where you can play Steam games on it. So they're like, hey, how about you cannot play PS5 games or PlayStation games on your Xbox branded console? You know, like that
Yeah.
is something that,
It's a very defensive strategy.
yeah, overly defensive, I would say. But it's
Yeah.
something that I'm not surprised to see, along with this next story, which is Sony is introducing dynamic pricing, and people are pissed off about it, which of course makes total sense. But the way that dynamic pricing is functioning is that, let's say that you are somebody who plays, or rather, I mean, to put it simply, dynamic pricing is that the pricing changes based on who you are and what region of the world you're in, and it shows different pricing based on certain factors, right? And people are theorizing how this stuff will work. So it's like, and Xbox kind of does this too, but it's presented as a discount where it's like, oh, like let's say you really enjoy God of War, right? Let's say you have like 100 hours in God of War. Oh, well, God of War Ragnarok is now on sale for 10% off just for you, right? Because you like the first one so much, like here, like, you know, play the second one, which in theory could be cool. But people are theorizing that this will be used for evil.
For increasing. Yeah.
For increasing, and it's like if you own all 10, if you own all 5 Yakuza games, and then Yakuza 6 comes out at like, you know, $100, they have no reason to ever discount it for you because they know that you're gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Or it's like if every year you're buying a sports game, if you're buying NBA, if you're buying 2K26, and then next year the dynamic pricing comes out, and they're like, oh hey, like we see this user buys the next iteration every year. Let's charge them like instead of $70, let's charge them 75 or 80, because like you're always gonna be on there, you're always spending microtransactions. Like, are you not gonna buy the next?
you're
installment?
not gonna buy the next Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So
I know Microsoft did it for like old Xbox users where they're like, oh, you're playing on like the last gen Xbox, but like they'll hit you with like, just for you can get the Xbox Series X for like $300. So like they like there's like that's how they did it, but
yeah,
I'm curious to see how Sony plans to handle this, because I'd be upset if I'm paying more just because
I'm a fan or something.
I'm a fan, right?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, low-key, other retailers, like if you want to, like, not to be well actually, but like some websites do this. We're like, oh, like you're a recurring customer, we noticed you here, we saw that this thing, like for example, Panera Bread does this. If you go
What?
to Panera Bread, this is super random. If you go to Panera Bread
Okay.
and you check, okay, this is completely out of left turn because I remember this because like my wife would be like, stop, don't put this in your cart yet. If you're on the self checkout kiosk at Panera, in store, not online. If you're in store, you put your meals in first, and you don't put a dessert. As you check out, it's like, wait. Okay, fine. Here's a cookie for $1. But the cookie is like $4 if you just put it in regularly in your cart. So it's like they're like, okay, fine, we're gonna throw it to you as you're leaving. It's like imagine like you're like arguing with like a market. You're arguing with you're haggling it with the price, and you're like, okay, give me the cookie for $1, and they're like, no, and then you leave. They're like, fine, wait, fine, yeah, have this cookie for $1. So it's like there's that level of it's not really dynamic pricing. It's just like how do you get more out of the customer at the end?
Yeah.
So this type of style of practice of like recognizing who your customer and like pricing things a certain way is not unique here, but knowing how capitalism moves and how companies always want more out of people, this is more likely going to be a price increase, in my opinion. Maybe seldomly you might see a price decrease, be like, oh hey, you're playing a lot more. How like you want to get into the Metal Gear Solid series? You played 1. How about 2 and 3 are going to be
Yeah.
or something like that, right?
Well,
Man, that'd be interesting. But
yeah, I would agree with you, and I think partnered with that is that Sony, and I think everyone knows, this next Xbox console, I don't think is gonna make a ton of sense for people to buy. If it's gonna be really expensive and all these AI features and all this stuff, there's a bunch of stuff that's happening with this new Xbox console that's coming out that like the more people hear about it, the more they're like, bro, like it's gonna be how much, it's gonna do this or whatever. And these are all rumors, so I don't want to like say any of them that are like, oh, this is gonna happen, but like the idea of them, you know, Sony is like, dude, we could just bet on these guys like failing, and we're gonna have all these systems set in place that will really like make us a lot of money in the long run. You know, like what are they gonna do? Where are they gonna go? PC priced out because of, you know, AI and DLSS 5 and all that stuff, which we'll get to. So what do they do? Dynamic pricing. They do that. You can only buy their games on their console, which is like a Nintendo move, which totally makes sense. But you know, realistically, like Nintendo's Nintendo. And then finally, what they decide is that hey, we can go ahead and increase the PlayStation price. Now, I will say part of this is also because of the AI craze and all that stuff, but I'm sure that they are positioning themselves to do again, make as much money as they want. But they are just raising the price for all these kinds of, for all their consoles. So PS5 is now going to be $649.99. The digital edition will be $599.99, and the PS5 Pro will be $899.99.
So I think that's 150 across the second.
I believe so. Yes, 150 to 100 across the entire board.
Yeah, which I will say, Xbox, considering Xbox was losing the race heavy, like 10-1 or like whatever, like to PS5, they increased prices twice, but like they did it at like 50 and then 75, so total I think it was like 120-ish bucks. Sony, I think, was maybe strategically, in my opinion, was maybe just waiting out their stock until like the very end, where they had to buy new RAM.
To like make the price
to produce
increase.
And then they're like, okay, well, we can't eat the cost, so we have to bump it up. That's my guess, because also it was very strategic for them to let Microsoft dig the hole of them for themselves.
Yeah.
To constantly just be like, oh, you have no games and your console is going to be more expensive, haha, look, we're such a better value.
It's giving
then it's at a term.
I don't know if you see the picture of like the two guys, like it's like a drawing of like the guy, one guy looking at each other. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, where he has a shotgun. He's like, take that, Sony, and he's like blowing his own head off. It's like, all right, man. Like,
wait, no, okay, I thought you were talking about the diamond pickaxe, like mining one, where it's like,
oh yeah, that one too. Yeah. Let me see. Let me show you. Let me stuff. But yeah, continue. I'll send you the
editor. Put this in post.
Yeah. Editor, do this one.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think I'm not too surprised. I mean, obviously, the company wants to make money, but I think other marketing conditions are kind of pushing everything in this direction. The fact that the Steam machine might be delayed even more, and the price is not going to be favorable. I don't want to. I feel like I'm always giving justifications for corporations. I'm not too surprised by this specifically. I am upset at the dynamic pricing one, but it's not too outlandish.
Here, I'll send it to you on Discord. I found it.
But I want to say, bro, I wanted to get a PS5 Pro a couple months back for $300, and this guy was like, "Nah, bro, don't get it." Bro, the freaking PS5 Pro is like the same price as the rumored new Xbox.
Yeah.
And this came out like what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah. My bad, OG. Yeah, it's fine. Listen, you know what you can do? How about this? You can get a job at you can get a job at EA, specifically Dice, because they got, you know, they're doing well. You know, their Battlefield was one of the most successful games of all time for them. You know, so
And beat out Call of Duty. Fine.
beat out Call of Duty. Yeah, so you know they must be doing good over there, right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, bro. This is, bro, you make a bad game, you get laid off. You make a good game, you get laid off. You make record breaking launch for series, and you still get laid off.
EA lays off staff across all Battlefield studios following record-breaking Battlefield 6 launch. Battlefield 6 was the best-selling game in the U.S. in 2025. They laid off a lot of people.
I don't know what.
What'd you say?
I don't know what they want. What do you expect, bro? You make a banger, you get dunked on. You don't make a banger, you get dunked on.
Well, so a little bit of background, right? We talked about this initially, but they said that they want like 1 million people into their like battle royale system. Remember what they said? Like there's like we want 1 million people in our battle royale like live service area spending money and all that stuff. So a lot of focus was poured into that, and then people were like, rightfully so, you're insane. This is not going to happen. What are you talking about? But obviously, here we are now, and this, you know, I feel really bad for these developers because they put like a lot of time and a lot of effort into this, you know. But
yeah,
what are you supposed to do? Like you said it, but like what are you supposed to do with your time, with your effort, and like, you know, what is going to be good? What is going to be good for people at the end of the day? Like what's good enough for these executives? You know?
Yeah, I'm curious if like, I mean, I'm curious if this was a thing from like if this was because two big things happened, right? Like obviously one, Vince Pella passed away.
Yeah, rip to the goat.
And he was the head of Battlefield Studios. Like considering that, like I don't know what influence he had within the EA higher up, because like granted, he comes in to make rival to Call of Duty with Titanfall.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a cult classic that like they shafted him for with like marketing, because they didn't market, like they marketed Titanfall 2 so poorly, and they launched it on the same day as like Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5. So like they screwed him over. So then they give him the reins to make the Star Wars games, makes 2 amazing games.
Yep.
Then they give him keys to their baby of Battlefield. He makes the best-selling Battlefield game. So I'm curious if he was still around, would he be able to bat and vouch for EA? And like I would assume like he would have been able to climb up higher in the ladder and protect DICE and protect people, right?
You're saying his influence had weight in the
It's like you have like a titan in the room, like I mean, no pun intended, but he held a lot of industry weight, and he has a lot of credibility of someone that can deliver, and someone that understands games and that people like. That's a very powerful person that understands.
And he did deliver a great package with Battlefield 6. The only problem is that there's no content post Battlefield 6. You know?
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. But I'm just like,
I'm curious that like if that's if him being gone and him not able to defend this team, or not able to like back against some of the BS, like if this is why they did some of this.
That is that's a very possible, like very real scenario that could be the case. But until we get more details, we won't know. But you know, good luck to anybody who's been on that team, because like at this point, nobody knows what you're supposed to do for this kind of game studios. They want Call of Duty numbers, and they hit that. They exceeded Call of Duty numbers last year, and yet it's still not enough. You know?
I'm just gonna say this has to be. I'm just gonna say, man. Fuck. The Saudi public investing firm and Jared Kushner. I just have to say it, man.
Fair.
Like why? Like why? Who? Just let us have these games. EA is finally making their comeback, and then they do this.
Yeah, was.
Well, there was, man.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, this is related to the next story, but like this is something that is pervasive throughout like the gaming industry of like this attitude of more money, more money, more money. You know, Jeff Kaplan, previous director of Overwatch, came out and there was an interview that he had. And the interview was really interesting. First off, he's releasing a game called what is it called here?
Something about California.
State of California. Hold on, let me make sure. I want to get this right because it actually looks kind of interesting. But oh, hang on, let me get the name because I can't seem to find it.
Legend of California.
Legend of California, open world cowboy game. Looks cool.
Yeah. It's low key kind of like Sea of Thieves if you're in like the
Wild
Gold
West.
Rush, California.
Yeah. So give that a look. He has literally like a 10-hour stream of him playing the game to showcase how real it is, how like big it is, and it looks kind of impressive. So take a look at that if you're a fan of Red Dead or in that kind of vibe. But this interview is interesting because he's talking about what kind of broke him as a like as a developer for Overwatch, and he basically came out and said like, dude, like some CFO sat him down and said, hey Jeff, and the numbers were bleeped for like NDA purposes, but he said the CFO said to Jeff, you need Overwatch needs to have X amount of players by this date and make this amount of money by this date. And if you do not make that amount of money, we are going to lay off 1,000 people and it's going to be on you. And Jeff, like he says in this interview, is like, dude, that was the biggest like FU to my entire career here, because it's like, you know, it's the ever growing greed of these companies that like really kills these kinds of games and these developers, these great developers. Because I'm not going to lie, Overwatch 1, banger, right? Great game. Yeah. And I would argue Jeff Kaplan was probably one of the main reasons for that. He's one of those powerhouse developers that like really puts a lot of time, effort, and dedication to these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And here we are where he's like, dude, this sucks. Like I'm being put in this weird scenario and it's like crazy, you know? And he's like, you know, I'm quitting. Like I after this, like I have to leave, you know, because like it's ridiculous. And you know, that CFO is not there at the company anymore. He left like a month after Kaplan left, but like that attitude of like that crazy growth that needs to happen is insane, you know? But
it's crazy because like Jeff Kaplan was such a pivotal piece of like the Overwatch community that like I didn't play Overwatch as much as you, but I'd love just seeing anytime Jeff came on the screen to talk, because it felt like you saw someone that had passion and that wanted to share this game and this vision with other people. And it's like, okay, like that was such a, like, to me he felt like such a beloved person in the gaming sphere, like akin to like not exactly Kojima status or Vince Zampella status, but like it's just a name that like people knew. But one very shitty that like management and like higher ups would like twist his arm like that, but also it shows like such a complete disconnect between the people consuming and the people in charge of the company not knowing what their customers are like and what they consume, because you would have to be so stupid to realize that there's a different like why would you turn this pillar of the gaming of the community of this game into like a villain internally and then threaten to lay off? It's like do you not realize like who you're like messing with?
Yeah,
because arguably once this guy leaves, like Overwatch 2, the direction and the vibe of it completely like DOA, right?
Yeah,
like as soon as he left, it's like, wow, like you were the only one that could steer the ship of Overwatch 2. Now now we're just back to Overwatch, literally. Like the 6v6 is back, the name is removed, the branding is gone. Like what was this whole thing for?
Yeah, exactly. So
like, I it's just also real quick, I was talking to a friend randomly, right? Because I was just talking about life and about like companies and work, and I was like, man, like every there's something that this is random, but like it's something to me that felt uneasy working for a company that's just constantly wanting to grow for the sake of growing and not just like being happy sustaining with what you have. Like I mean it's weird to say like with this lens, right? Like why would you want to work at a place that like is like stagnant or whatever? But like sometimes you just need to make a good product and just you can improve it but not just chase these like arbitrary numbers for the sake of growth metrics and we need to make big number go up. Like if you think about it, Craigslist, I don't even know if Craigslist is a company, but it's the only thing that's just maintained like consistent to itself. Like everything has an AI, everything has a stories feature, but Craigslist is like, bro, you go just message somebody, post a thing, and you, it's a very straightforward and no, it's no fluffs, right? Like sometimes you just need things that are just straightforward, but companies like with EA or with Activision Blizzard, where they're like, you need to reach this made up number just because we want to, and just so that we can show that like there is active growth happening with our product. It's like, why? Just make a thing, make money, make sure that people are fed. You don't have to, not everything has to be excess.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know, that's the thing that's like it's disheartening. It's like at minimum you should want to like break even and then get like an overhead of like 10% or 15%. That way you can get everybody paid, have all the credit cards and debts paid off, but then have something to, you can roll into the next thing. But
Yeah.
it's always just constant wanting to grow and growth of, I don't know, man. Like there's,
I think
I don't know.
to tie it back to like the gaming aspect of it, like I agree with you 100%. It's interesting because the Clear Obscure people, they were asked like, like they were talking about their game post, the massive success that it was, and they were like, yeah, with things like this, people generally expect like the next game to be really big, to be really huge, to be like, fantastic and like double in size. He was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're probably gonna keep it the same size. And it's like, good, like if you
Yeah,
know what you're doing and you do it well, there's no need to like jam pack the next thing with like more and more and more. Like if you're good at
yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah.
I think that's a very big reason that From Software games are successful. Not to say that each game doesn't get bigger. They do, of course they do, but the bigger comes from the ability to expand on things that they know they're good at, and they're able to take leaps like from Dark Souls 3 to Sekiro, or from Sekiro to Elden Ring. They're able to take those massive leaps because they're like, oh yeah, like we have the success behind our name, and we have ideas that we've been wanting to do for a while. We just haven't had the capital or the time to do so. And
Mhm.
things that they put out are very like well refined, well controlled. They don't try to jump outside their wheelhouse. They don't jam pack their stuff full of just garbage monetization. They just make a good product and put it out, and people really like it. Like I would argue Elden Ring could legitimately be half the size that it is, and it would still be a 10 out of 10 game for me, right? And for anybody who's a fan of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
series. There's just so
That's
much
true.
content, but they know what they're good at. They chock it full of, progress, and they took their time with it. They announced it and it took a while to come out, but when it did, it was huge.
Hmm.
And so it's things like that where it's like patience. It's also about knowing what you're good at and understanding like, hey, like you don't need to have infinite money. If the product is good, the money will come. Expedition 33, Outer Wilds, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, like Sekiro, all these things are exact reasons that these games are successful. You know, um, I mean, like
Yeah.
Nintendo, we make fun of the idea that like all their games are on their one platform, but Nintendo repeatedly releases very good quality products. And like, say what you will about how they're their company, they definitely have some issues with it, but they know how to make a good game. Pocopia is a very good example of that. You know,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
also, man, it's
yeah, yeah.
just to jump in real quick. The thing about like also from Nintendo's aspect, right? Like when the management messes up, bro, they like Satoru Iwata, bro. Like dude literally took a pay cut when during the Wii U era, just so he's like, okay, I messed up. I'm there's people's families and livelihoods here. Like I made the mistake. I'm gonna take I'll nuke my paycheck by half because
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
like there's no uh like there's no accountability, which is the thing that I really is really disheartening. right? Like there's something to be said when the employees are constantly being looked at as, oh, you didn't do your part to meet the margin, meet the metrics and do this, so we're gonna fire you.
But it's
What
like,
about
what do you
you?
mean? Yeah, what
What
about
about
the
leadership?
leadership? Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
a.
yeah. Like you have like the whole idea is like, oh, you have skin in the game, but then people that constantly like fuck up and at the leadership level, like with like Destiny, with Bungie, dude, people are getting laid off, and the guy is buying is adding more cars to his like multi-million dollar vintage cars. Like, dude,
Yeah.
get this like there's like no sense of
There's no like honor in terms of like as
yeah.
a leader. There's no like, and also just to point out, I don't know what a programmer is expected to do to guarantee success of a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to say it's marketing's fault, but it's a marketing thing. It's like a leadership thing. There's like so many things that come into play here. And you find very often like when developers are trusted to, like, not developers, but like people who've made games, people who aren't executives or in charge of making decisions, and people who care about the product they're making, make the decisions, they're able to generate something that's like really good and people really enjoy. But when these C-suite people get involved, it really just like gums up the works and really like adds a lot of like garbage that doesn't need to be there in the first place. You know?
Mm.
Um, you know, it's a sad state of affairs, but I'm glad that the good thing about all this that happened is that Jeff Kaplan left Blizzard and he's now doing his own thing and he's making a product that he's passionate about and hopefully brings a lot of success. And like that's, I guess, the benefit. Like I think the age of AAA gaming being the gold standard has long retired, and now we're in a phase of like, check out the experimental stuff, like check out the other stuff that people make and people really like enjoy making and stuff like that. So like Subnautica 2. Subnautica 2 is a really good example of something that people should check out, because it's something that a company took a swing on, and it's really interesting that concept wise, sorry, they just got their old CEO back, which is also good news, I think. But it's kind of crazy. So this is a story we talked about before, but Ted Gill was removed as the CEO, because Krafton, who's the company that he's CEO of, basically said, "Hey, your decisions are causing this company to fail." Or yeah, they said that like because of you, we're not able to make money and all this stuff. So we're removing you. Turns out that there was a clause in the contract of Krafton being acquired, or whatever the case is, that upon release of Subnautica 2 on this like timeline, they would have to pay him $250 million. It was agreed upon thing by both parties. That's like, whatever, crazy deal. I don't know how he got that, but whatever. This is the deal they had to agree to. And Krafton said, "Oh, let's get rid of this guy so we don't have to pay the $250 million, and then delay the project so that this like whole idea of like, oh, this narrative of him not being a sufficient leader adds up, right?" Well, turns out that in court, he took them to court, as he should, and it turns out that that was not necessarily true, and there were logs of the Krafton leadership asking, I think it was a legal team, asking ChatGPT, "Hey, how do I get out of this $250 million like bonus that we had to pay him? How do I avoid like doing XYZ?" And those logs, because you can subpoena them in court, came out, and people were like, "You guys are so stupid." And he won the case. And
How do I get away with murder?
Yeah, literally, he's like, "Hey, how do we get away with fraud?" Essentially. And so
Yeah.
he has now been reinstated. His $250 million bonus is back on the payroll base, is back on schedule, and he jumped in. He said, "Hey, by the way, like, this game is coming out in early access this year." Again, he put it back on the timeline because he knew it was ready to do so. So massive win to him. Very happy for him, but insane this turn of events. I'm glad it worked out for him, but it's kind of crazy, to be honest.
I mean, hey, bro, get your bag.
Yeah, yeah, not much to say on this one except for the fact that like, yeah, dude, like it just like the marathon artist who got stole from Bungie. It's like, yeah, dude, get in there and get your bag. What the like,
Yeah,
take it for all they're worth, you know. So I cannot imagine the office tension at this point, you know.
yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, but I'm glad he's getting that 250 million. You know, maybe he can give some to Tim Sweeney, the head of Epic Games, because this dude is going through it as well. But I have no sympathy for him specifically. I have sympathy for the workers that are getting laid off. Epic is sent out a memo. They are laying off 1,000 Epic employees. This layoff, together with over 500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. They go through an explanation of what's going on and all that stuff, but realistically, kind of crazy that Epic Games, creators of Unreal Engine, owners of Fortnite, you know, like that they have to lay off 1,000 employees. By the way, last year Tim Sweeney was joking that they could fight, you know, the legal battle of Apple for months and months and months and not, you know, lose any money. But that's besides the point. Of course, don't factor that into
That's
this.
what I was gonna say, dude. Like, did they, bro? If you weren't just stupid with how you're doing investments or not investment, lawsuits, dude, you could have just kept people around, man. I don't know. It's just because in the end they ended up just this. You still have to pay whatever 30% on Apple, right?
Yeah. So they won the lawsuit, but then Apple just banned them from their stores and Google. So they lost that revenue anyways. You have to go through a mobile, like you have to download a APK or whatever, like a launcher for Epic Games to be able to play them. And people are not doing that, you know, like, so what is the
Fortnite on your phone? Yeah, all this, and then just for them to come back and be like, we don't have enough money. It's like, dude, again, back to the whole concept of I don't even think they're publicly traded, right? Epic Games.
Epic Games?
Yeah.
I don't know if they
No,
are.
no, they're not.
They're
They're
not.
not.
Yeah, they're not.
But so it's like, dude, you're a private company, like, and you've made mistakes as leadership. Own up to it.
Also, the dude's
like,
paycheck is probably is in the millions. We know this, right?
Yeah.
So, dog, take your pay cut and keep these workers stable. Like, the amount of layoffs that's being affected is people who were there when Fortnite was built. Like, it's the kind of layoffs where it's like, hey, why is this guy costing us $200,000 a year when this other engineer does the same job that he does, but he earns $100,000? Let's get rid of the $200,000 guy. Turns out the $200,000 guy was there since the inception of Fortnite, and he knows how everything works, and he built these. You know, like he has institutional knowledge, but they're like, get rid of him.
Yeah.
So,
like, it's, I don't know, man. It's all this. Again, I don't know what's
the greed,
what's happening there, but I'm just saying, like, if you made some decisions and things didn't work out, like, the decision makers need to also own up. You can't just, because people are just like, oh, just cut things willy-nilly, just whatever, like no, dude, like, it's like,
this is people's livelihood.
Yeah, you need to experience some of the waves, man. Like you can't always just be running it on top. You gotta just, I don't know. That's the thing that kind of annoys me, man. Like because all the stuff one is like super sudden. At least, like, if you're gonna signal something, I like give some people a heads up so that they can do some movements or whatever.
So they are getting
or just own up to some of this, right? Like the Nintendo, if Nintendo was an American company, because like this is the most clearest example. The Wii U flopped so horrendously bad, right? But they didn't do any layoff. Like you guys can learn from that. Like it's just so shameful that how some of these companies move and the amount of arrogance that some leadership has.
So they are also, like, I guess, to help soften the blow for these individuals who are laid off, they're accelerating their stock investment, option vesting through 2027, and they're also giving like equity exercises for up to 2 years. They're also extending healthcare coverage, and they're also giving like they're giving like a severance package that includes at least 4 months of base pay and more based on tenure. So there is some benefit to these people who like they have some safety net. But again, in this industry with everything going on the way that it is, like I really hope that these people could find work, but I don't know what that looks like for them. You know?
Tough, man.
Yeah, it is really tough. And the thing that really bothers me about all this is that like these people, like the Tim Sweeney and all these people, they come on Twitter and they're like, hey, like, haha, meme lord, haha, we're better than Steam, haha, we earn more money, like, all right, man, like, sure, dog, like, whatever, like, I act like you're, you know, like a good company, like take care of your workers and all that stuff, but they don't. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's not good, but
yeah,
you know what is great? DLSS 5, which we'll get to in a quick second. Alrighty, bathroom break, and now we're back.
I had to get yassified for this next story. I was putting on makeup to get ready for this one.
You put on makeup, bro? Why?
Yeah,
just upload the photo and it'll do it for you.
Yeah, DLSS 5, which stands for don't look super stupid.
Stinky shit ahead is what DLSS 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so DLSS 5 was revealed by Nvidia at a trade show, I believe, and it is so.
I guess okay. Okay.
Yeah.
DLSS 5 or DLSS started as, hey, the graphics card generates an image. What if we can use machine learning? Because like a lot of these images are going to be repetitive, or they're going to know what's going to come next. What if we can use machine learning to kind of and math to predict what some of the details are going to be? So it started off as like, hey, what if you rendered a game at like 600 by 600 or whatever, and then upscale it to 1440p, because like you can like denoise and add back information based off of like some context.
Yes,
that was like version 1. Version 2 was like, oh, what if we introduce like actually I don't know at what point they introduced frame gen, but like it's essentially like taking an existing image and adding information that would already be there to improve game stability and make games run better.
And
yeah,
no, that's good context. I would also say that DLSS has become a hallmark of making games run better from the perspective of the game does not necessarily have to be the best optimized. You can rely on DLSS to help improve a lot of the game. And for a lot of times it works pretty well. DLSS 4 and path tracing is another kind of like frame gen and like lighting technology that Nvidia has introduced. But the concept itself is pretty useful, and it is something that has been standardized across gaming for a while now, specifically PC gaming. And I think the technology is also like in place for console gaming. Or no, actually, sorry, PC gaming is like the big thing, right? That's like that's what I can speak to.
Yeah. So the core of it is that DLSS essentially takes, like, it doesn't modify what the game developers want it to do. It's more about like it's enhancing and keeping our original intent, but just making the game run smoother. That was like the premise of like what DLSS 1 to 4 has been doing, right?
Correct. Now
insert DLSS 5.
Insert DLSS 5. Now. And just for context as well, additional context, DLSS 5 is coming at a time in the industry where AI is being pushed in a bunch of avenues: coding, creative work, workload optimization, and things like that. And AI is being used in the gaming industry to help offload some of the workload. We just saw there's a story that came out the other day that AI is being used to replace a translator on the Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance team. He's like, hey, like my job just got taken by AI. Things like that. That's obviously not the good stuff, but then you are hearing positive stories of AI being used in the workflow, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But Capcom, for example, kind of stepped up and said, we are not using it for the creative work, but we are using it to help optimize our workflow, building out a baseline starting point of like a code base and then going from there, which makes sense. That's like the standard across the industry, every industry, that like if you're not using AI to help build out at least a beginning building blocks and saving time, then something is like, you're losing time for no real reason. That's like the general consensus that's going on right now. Obviously, whether that's the case, that's a different discussion, but that's kind of the trend right now, setting the scene. DLSS 5 comes in and they said, hey, this is like the next version of DLSS, the DLSS version technology, and here's how it looks. They've previewed a couple games. They previewed FIFA. They previewed, let me make sure I have all the list here.
Resident Evil,
Starfield, and Hogwarts Legacy is like some of the main ones. And they showed it, and they did a before and after. They did like a slider kind of thing where it's like, oh, like here's DLSS 5, but here's it without DLSS 5, and here's it with DLSS 5. And the general resounding consensus was like, ugh.
Yeah, I will say, just like my experience, I had to do a double take, because at first glance, when you just look from far away, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's like, if you didn't see all the AI stuff before, you're like, wow, it's dramatic, right?
Yes.
I think it's very apparent something's on versus something's off. Like you can see that this is in full effect more so than the previous DLSS version. Like the other DLSS versions were about like, how does the game play frame by frame kind of thing. This is like night and day. Like someone put on a filter is what it looks like.
So the example that I'm going to be referencing, and it'll be in the description below, and you can look it up as well. I am referencing the Grace Ashcroft screenshot, right?
Yeah.
It is a screenshot of Grace Ashcroft from Resident Evil 9. Talked about it earlier. Check out the YouTube video. Looking at the camera. And the scene that is happening in this specific screenshot is in the very beginning of the game. You find this out minute 1. It's not a spoiler. You are going to go visit a hotel. In this hotel, your mother was murdered. That's like 10 years ago, whatever. So that's like the baseline. Very somber reality, and the whole vibe of Resident Evil, the whole vibe is like scary horror, like thematically, it's a very gray, very dull, and like this character she's not wearing a lot of makeup, or any makeup rather, because she's going to go to this horrific site for her. She's like, there's this whole like vibe and artistic intention behind the way this character is designed. DLSS 5 is off, looks great. Then the DLSS 5 filter comes on, and it's as if the game has been put through an AI like slop machine, like the meme, you've all seen it.
Yeah. It looks like it's like the ad that you get that's trying to convince you to download a casino gambling.
Yes. And the other meme of like
they have attractive lady in your face kind of,
or like the meme of like they show a character from like, they show Ciri, for example, from The Witcher 4, and they're like, you should hire fans because the one image has Ciri without any makeup, the next image has Ciri completely yassified. It's terrifying, right?
Yeah.
And
there's also one about like, when Horizon, when it was coming out, the sequel, they're like, oh, why does she have peach fuzz? Oh my god, and she's not smiling. And then they made like an AI picture of Aloy, like, look, see, hire fans, we know how to make women look beautiful.
Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's happening in this game. It's happening in Starfield. It's happening across the board. But the thing is, like, these models. So first off, everyone's really confused. They're like, are you serious? What is this? And
honestly, it looks like a different person too. Like the left side looks like a much younger, like naive type of person, and then on the right side with DLSS on, it looks like someone described this as it's the Angelina Jolie, Anna de Armas face.
Well,
that like it's generic attractive.
Well,
lady.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, right? Some of these models are trained off of porn, and that's kind of what this like. That it's like, oh, like
yeah, that's
like,
the other thing.
Apply that filter to this character, and it's like, whoa, what, huh? Where is this coming from? And confusion arises, and everyone's like, what the hell's going on? Like, what is this? And Jensen Huang came out later and he said, hey guys, don't worry. It's like taking the data that's there, and it can be toggled on. It can be toggled and like messed with by the game developer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sure, right? And then people said this looks like AI slop, and he said it's not that. It is applying it is doing a lot more in-depth like rendering. It's like looking at everything and like applying like a new form of like DLSS onto this game and making like a game-wide like function. And it's like, don't worry about it, right? It'll work. And when people were saying, "Hey, this sucks," he was like, "You guys are wrong. That's not how you're wrong. That's not how it looks. Like, or it doesn't look bad. You guys just don't understand." So people did some digging, and they found that DLSS 5 relies on 2D frame data as testing, and because of that, basically what that means is that it's taking what's on screen right now and like trying to apply this global filter across the board on a geometric level and generate a texture, a lighting frame, whatever the case might be, and like it's creating its own vision of what it thinks this thing should look like. The way that differs from DLSS 4 is because DLSS 4 enhances what's already there. DLSS 5 says, let's reimagine it in our own method because we think we know best what's going on here. And people found that there was hallucinations going on. People found that like it's changing the artistic intent of what's actually trying to, be portrayed here. And it is something that it is adding detail where there's no, like, how there's some photos where you look at it and then people just up the sharpness and the contrast and saturation, like this generic filter of like, oh, look, now it's better because it's brighter, for example, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's being applied across the board. And I'm saying all this because Ahmed and I are about to go in and just kind of tear this thing apart because we really hate it. But another example that they showed that we didn't talk about actually is the Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay. They showed Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they showcase what's the main character's name? Doesn't matter. Naomi.
Yeah.
They show Naomi in a tree, and they do the filter across, and she's in a tree, and she's doing the thing that Assassin's Creed games do, where you sink across the horizon. You can see like a vast, expansive world around you. And she's sinking to this horizon, and it shows it without it, and then it shows it with it. And what it does, it blows up the saturation, it blows up the lighting, it blows up everything across to a point where it doesn't even look like the same game anymore. People are really confused as to what the hell is going on. And there's a technical breakdown of everything that's going on with it and all that stuff, which I'll post in the the response or whatever later, or in the post later, the whatever, And it's just like a general vibe of like, Nvidia came out and they said, hey, this looks great. We like it a lot. Can't wait to show this. And everyone, resounding response was like, what the hell are you doing?
I think it was also the fact that they were very confident in showing this off, because I think there's like multiple lenses to this. Like the first one is like some of the developers didn't even know like stuff was going on.
I don't think any of the developers knew about it. Capcom came out and said we had no idea this was happening.
Yeah, like I think like the developers and the artists were like, what the hell? Probably like some of the management was like gave thumbs up. But like if you look at the side by side, like the jacket, the color of the jacket for Grace is completely different. Some of the lighting is supposed to be like this like very kind of noir-esque, grimy, kind of Gotham City-esque feeling when you're walking in the street in RE9, but like some of the lights aren't giving off that like orange hue. So it's like Grace's hair, like now she has like different colored hair. Like she's not like normal blonde now, she's like platinum blonde with like dark roots. There's so many things that if you don't see the original, you could mistake this as like, oh, this looks significantly better. But the fact that this is modifying and mutating the original image so drastically and not like maintaining the art style is crazy. Because like this, like a lot of machine learning models and like AI image models are trained off of real life. So this is like all in the guise of like hyper realism. That the people like why this is seen as like a step in the right direction, because it's like, oh, we're just like superimposing real data and filling the gaps where the game engine couldn't.
Yes.
So like from a like mechanical way of it, like the application, like the mechanism of application is interesting. That like, oh, you have something that could like supplement the gaps, but like the they're just a blind desire of, I made this look more real, is really like what is throwing things off. Uh, because I think we were talking about this, right? We were like, oh, how is this gonna handle zombies?
Yep.
How's this gonna handle monsters? How's this gonna handle things that it doesn't know that it needs to
Doesn't know how to
make look
render,
real?
essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, because like right now, all it knows is oh, let's just take games that are like sort of have that has human anatomy and it has like things that we understand, and they just render it. But like, what if you like? There's a reason why they didn't show a game like Borderlands, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like
How to handle cell
some
shading
like,
and things like
something
that.
that have like a stylized approach. Like, what? How do you just make that? Do you just undo the art style of a game just for it to make it look realistic?
Yeah.
That begs a whole
Well,
different
that's what's
question.
happening to Hogwarts Legacy, right?
Yeah,
In the gameplay that they show, it's very much like a, oh, look how it looks with the filter, and it's like, dude, this looks like a completely different game. It doesn't even look
yeah,
close, you know?
yeah. Like, cause there's like one of the teachers is like a cartoonishly looking grandma, like from a proportion standpoint, and then they do the DLSS 5 filter on her, and they make her look like have you ever seen those pictures of like this is what the emoji looks like in real life, and
Yes.
it adds wrinkles to something that doesn't. It's like you take it's like it looking like a it just looks disgusting. Like when like there's like these memes of like HD SpongeBob, and it's like SpongeBob with like super pores and wrinkles. It's like
Or it's like the
this
screenshot from
animated thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's in SpongeBob where they have this like the thing where it's like a close up of SpongeBob when he's like all like realistic and it's like a horrifying, like it's meant to be
yeah,
gross, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's what's happening here. It's really gross. It doesn't look great, and the argument can be made, and I'm not pro this argument, but the argument can be made. I was like, oh, as the technology gets better, it'll get better at rendering. But what's happening here on a fundamental level is it is changing again artist intent, which is really important, and it is changing on like a geometric level and like rendering textures that one aren't there, and two like is completely rewriting the theme, the story of what the game is trying to tell, because it thinks that, oh, this is what like is good, you know.
yeah.
And
Like it's like
yeah,
it
yeah.
also fucks with the color grading too. Like in
Yep.
Starfield, so I think this is an example that like you like how they had sent me a video is like you need to watch this, and the guy breaks down. For example, one of the guy's haircuts. He's supposed to like the original game in Starfield. One of the guys that you meet has like a very high, like very pushed up high fade, that like it looks bald. But then DLSS comes in and then gives him like a more like cleaned up fade, which is like okay, you could argue that the fade like the haircut looks better,
Yeah.
but it's like that's not what was intended to be put out. And then also like the original color grading is much more green sci-fi-esque, where it's like you like where you know how like in the Matrix you knew you were in the Matrix because it was green. Like
Or
imagine
Breaking
like
Bad, you know, you're in Mexico because it's
yeah,
yellow.
Breaking Bad you're in Mexico because of the yellow. Yeah, yeah. But like in the DLSS 5 photo, it's hyper realistic looking, and it's like devoid of atmosphere. Like
Yes.
it strips away any like color grading like feeling that you can impose, like cinema and game design and art design uses like colors to push feeling, and like some games can make you feel claustrophobic with the way colors are being used, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have more dark atmospheric tones to kind of push the scene a certain way. But then if you just crank the lights up to 1,000 and put sharpness to 1,000, you the still image sure can look quote unquote more realistic and just looks brighter and better perceived, but it's gonna probably look ass in motion.
Yeah. Also, we talked about this. We said this before. I'm tired of hyperrealism in games. I don't
Yeah,
need it in every single game, and even then, hyperrealism has a vastly different look from product to product. Battlefield doesn't look
yeah,
like Call of Duty. Call of Duty doesn't look like Red Dead. Red Dead doesn't look like Sekiro. And like the whole thing behind hyperrealism is that like for some reason there's this assumption from these companies that are making this technology that like, oh, like that's what people want. I don't know where they're getting this idea from. I don't know what's pushing them to think this way, but the fact that like these characters are changing so much that like it's such a weird from a society standpoint, not even from a gaming standpoint. Well, I mean, it's related to games, but like it's just, to me, when I look at something like Starfield and there's a character who's a space astronaut. Again, Starfield is Starfield. I'm not trying to defend the game of being like an amazing game, but the artists have an intent to make a game a certain way. Okay, fair enough. The game comes out and you meet a character. This is in the footage. The game comes out and there's a character who is an astronaut and you're talking to her and she's like, it's like a normal thing. Then the DLSS 5 comes in and says, oh, you know what? She needs eyeliner. She needs lipstick. She needs like, all these kinds of things that are like, that is how they want to render women, for example. And it's like, it feels kind of gross, like that the idea that they're pushing this idea of like, oh, like this is what the ideal kind of man/woman looks like from our model training, from our like generation aspect of it, which we all know that these models are trained on explicit materials. It's trained on anything and everything you can get its hands on,
Yeah.
and this is not helping. Like this is just a further like push for that, like, oh, like look, this is so good, right? And it's like, no, this is not good. And I don't know why. The worry that we have is that DLSS has become a crutch for a lot of gaming games like Call of Duty and all these things, the big money makers that are like, hey, like we don't necessarily have to put it in an optimized game because DLSS will do that for us. And now with DLSS 5 being introduced, they're like, oh, dude, we can make our game look so good if we just have DLSS 5 just render everything for us. And it's like,
yeah, like so someone was joking that like you're just gonna get like stick figures, like 3D stick figures, and then just superimpose whatever you want face with DLSS 5. It's two things also is that they said that the demos were running with one 5090.
No, two 5090s.
One 5090 generating the original image, and then another 5090 superimposing the filter, like running DLSS 5, superimposing the filter on the original image. So it was like so for them, they're like, oh, we can achieve this with two 5090s. Brother, people can't even get one 5070. Like,
yeah.
So, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have this running for 5,000 card series later this year. I was like, I don't know, man. Like that, like if that's how they're trying to do the demo, that they needed two graphics cards to do this. I don't. It's also crazy that they did not get a racing game, because like you can say whatever you want about like everyone can have opinion, yes, no, about DLSS 5 in Resident Evil or in Starfield. Todd Howard loves it, and he said they're gonna use it for their games moving forward. Which, God, bro, your games already suck. How I'm a Bethesda hater, bro. I'm a Bethesda hater. That Todd Howard, listen, man, just stick to making TV shows, please.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that Nvidia did not show off a racing game, because racing is, I think, the only time where hyper realism is, I think, like not like is fine. Like we're like, because if I'm playing a racing sim, like you want to be as tapped in as possible, like presumably, right? Like because like there's some because like racing games are also the games that like Gran Turismo and Forza back in the day were the like pinnacles of look how much engineering feat we can produce, because like it's solely just how do you catch the shadows and the sun and perceiving speed and stuff and reflections. Like that should have been their end target if they made Forza look great.
Yeah.
Okay. But this begs to the idea that like maybe this doesn't look good in motion, which is why everything was like a still frame. I don't know.
Well, if it's generating frame by frame, yeah, it most definitely not. Also, like my 5080 I like it a lot. It's very powerful. But it chugs. It doesn't have the VRAM to do a lot of like crazy, or rather, it has good VRAM. It has enough that for my use case, but my room gets hot. Off of Death Stranding 2, it just does. There's the amount of rendering, amount of like stuff that's in that game, and I'm not faulting Death Stranding. I'm not faulting the card. Can you imagine how much power consumption these cards will go through generating things on a frame by frame basis in a video game like this? Like, there's no way. There's no physical way. And with all the things of it, like melting connectors and stuff like that, there's no way that this will not cause more issues, right? But that's besides the point. The whole idea of this thing, I think, really spits in the idea of what games are meant to be, from a storytelling medium, from a experience medium. Like, it's just not well executed. Not well executed. And I think that normalizing it and making it look good, saying it's like, oh, this is the future, really harms the future of game creators and stuff like that. And something else that I also really want to touch on and really bring focus to is that, like, the fact that Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, the fact that his initial response was, oh no, I'm not wrong, everyone else who's criticizing us is wrong, is crazy. Like, the fact that he was like, no, they're wrong, you guys are all wrong. It's like, I'm not expecting him to be like, oh, you guys are right, it's dog water. But I'm not. I also did not like the idea that he's like, oh no, like, I would, like we talked about before, a little bit of humility where he's like, hey guys, like, we understand what we showed was not correct. We will go back and kind of touch base on it, and we're excited to showcase this technology. Just something like that,
Yeah. Like, the thing is, it's because he's also just still defending AI in general.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think there's a discussion to be had about AI, and I think because I saw some stuff at work where I was like, okay, this is high key really crazy. Like, what it can do. I'm not saying it's like smart, but it's just like the amount of context that it has. If you give it the right context, it could really execute.
Yeah.
Like, I saw some dudes like build something, like, just off of like we had a Zoom, and someone just put everything together on like a piece of paper and submitted it, and like just chugged along and got things going. I was like, wow, kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm not denying the usefulness of the tool either. Like, it is useful, but yeah.
But I'm just saying, like I think he has to defend regular AI, then he has to defend DLSS 5. But like, the thing with DLSS 5 is, like, normally in a game, I say, hey, this specific file is the texture for the floor. This specific file is the texture for the jacket, that texture for the hair, the texture for this, the texture for that. But then DLSS, from like a image generation standpoint, it's like, it fills the gaps, but like, the means of it filling the gaps is non-deterministic. Like, it's like it's like flipping a coin, heads or tails. Like, you might get like 1,000 people. Like, the thing we're talking about, this, like, 1,000 people can play Starfield, and they can look out, or play Resident Evil. They can look at the person's face. You are gonna get like just the way the technology works. It's gonna generate what it thinks the face needs to look like at that point in time. So
for
it's
DLSS 5, yeah.
For DLSS 5, so it's gonna look different each time you run it, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you go to well, you can't use Sora now because that's closed. But if you go to like Mid-Journey, you give the same prompt 1,000 times, you're gonna get a slightly different image each time, because it's like you give someone a pen and paper and draw 1,000 pictures of Mario jumping, and it's like each picture is gonna look slightly different.
Yeah.
So from like a gaming artistic standpoint, you're definitely gonna get things that are not intended. Sure, does it look better?
Maybe, and I'd argue that like that's like a whole different thing, but
that's whole subjection, right? Like, and like the fact that the artist can't really control exactly what changes and stuff is really
okay. So that's also something I wanted to dive into, I guess, for my point from before, because everything you're saying is correct, and like, he's defending AI, he's defending it for his investors and stuff like that, and he's also in this position of like guy who what's it called, makes slot burger, says, no, actually slot burger is really good, you should have more of it. Like obviously he's gonna be like, no, dude, trust me, it's really good. And it's like, yeah, dude, because you're making the shit that you want people to buy. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's super obvious. But something that I wanted to touch on was that. Oh shoot, I lost it. What did you say right before
It was
this?
about art. I was talking about artistic intent.
Kind
Yeah.
of. Keep going.
Well, because I was saying that like what was I saying? I was saying
You
that
said it would look different every time.
it looked up, and it's not what the artist would have wanted, right? Like it's like because each time it's gonna be generating something different or something slightly different.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not a definitive experience that like was intended. So it's messing around with like the intent and things like that.
Investors, showing what the technology can do. Damn, I lost it. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Bro, why don't you just DLSS 5 your thought?
My thoughts, yeah. We should
Yeah.
yassify our images, our faces on here, honestly.
Bro, I was telling you that I was like because we have new little floating heads. I was like, you just what if we just do a bit where that just becomes the new face?
Oh yeah, we could make that for the thumbnail. Oh, actually, we could do that for the thumbnail. But yeah, regardless, this technology is something that I personally abhor, and I don't think that it is good, and I also don't think that it is something that will definitely not the last we've seen of it, right? And we're in this weird position of like everyone is trying to get in on this AI thing and stuff like that, and because Nvidia makes the cards that everyone uses to generate this stuff, of course they're going to try to push it even more. So
yeah. Oh yes, this is the thing I was gonna say. Yes, I come. This it's interesting because DLSS is such like at first it was Nvidia only, right? Because I mean they have their own proprietary way of running it, and it runs on their CUDA cores or whatever, like their specific AI. Oh yeah, I think CUDA's not really AI, but they had like specific core counts dedicated for just upscaling. And then AMD was able to come back and be like, hey, we made FSR. It's I believe it's open source. People can I don't know if it's open. I don't know if it's not. Anyway, but it could be ran on any card. AMD gave out this thing like, okay, it could run on Nvidia, it could run on Intel, it could run on whatever. So you had what was it called? FSR, right?
yeah.
So then in each version of DLSS, you had a tit for tat of what each, like AMD would Nvidia would do frame gen. AMD would come back with frame gen, and they would do RTX. AMD would come back with RTX. So then now this point, it feels like a DLSS is required to play any modern game because you cannot, for the life, play something straight out of the box and get like a native rendered 1440p experience.
Well, wasn't Indiana Jones was like the first thing that neted ray tracing or something like that? Like that.
Yeah, but you needed ray tracing for that too. But then you still needed what is it called? You still needed DLSS.
Yeah.
Like
frame
for
gen.
for frame gen upscaling, right? So like you need these AI features. Like Nvidia basically pushed all developers in a corner and basically said, hey, yeah, we're gonna allow you to make your games much better. And then now with this DLSS 5, if this takes a hold, I don't know if AMD has a response for DLSS 5, and that could like shut them out from the future, because DLSS 1 through 4 is such a mainstay and it's rooted in gaming, and AMD is not as good as Nvidia when it comes to AI stuff.
Well, I think we're also in a weird spot of like Unreal Engine 5 being the default for a lot of game developers, like because it's not an optimized product, they need DLSS to help fix their game a lot of the time. Not that they should, but like that's just how it is.
Yeah. So it's yeah, exactly. And like I think if we move forward in the future, and if people are gonna start picking up, developers are gonna start picking up DLSS 5 and wanting to use that, and there's no other alternative that AMD has to support that.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like pretty dead in the water like, or AMD is gonna be dead in the water, I think, right? So because Jensen Huang like kind of touted this out the first time they showed off AI stuff, which is we're gonna with the 5000 series, like we're gonna do neural rendering and showing that games can be rendered in a different way. But if they do that, you're kind of just gonna like dunk on, like they already have a monopoly, so to say, like a functional monopoly on a lot of different aspects.
I think
So I don't know. I'm really concerned about what this means, implications for the future.
No, absolutely. I think to maybe point like to say like, oh, like this is a direction that AMD could pivot. I think AMD could very much and very easily pivot into the realm of, you know what? Screw it. Our cards are going to have raw power, more VRAM, more whatever, but that is reliant on the AI crisis, RAM crisis, whatever, kind of fixing itself, and then they're able to produce cards that do that because of the way everything is going. I don't think we're going to see this for a long time, but yeah, that's something to like maybe think about, or like maybe that's like a path forward where they're like, all right, we're just going to build powerhouse cards now, because Nvidia is choosing to not build powerhouse cards in regards to, we can dedicate some of the processing power to AI, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. But DLSS 5 is not here yet. It's on the way, but it does not bode well for people who, you know, are against the AI slop, and it does not look great. And I don't know what the future's gonna hold, but I don't believe it's gonna come anytime soon. Realistically, this stuff is really like, if it needs that much power to like run, you know, like that's that much power, that much, you know, graphics processing, like, yeah, good luck, brother. There's no way. Oh, I remember what I was talking about. I don't trust this company that is telling people you are wrong, it doesn't look bad, to give people the level of granular control that it's saying that it will. It's saying, oh, don't worry, the controls in the developer's hands, all this stuff. It's like, no, man, I don't believe you. Like, the whole point of this, like, of this AI push is that, like, you have something that does the work for you and does it in a way that they deem is, you know, correct and all this stuff. So this is an extension of that. I don't think that this company is going to really give the control to the developers as much as people think that they will. You know?
Yeah, dude. Just the blatant, no, bro, you're wrong. I think it was just it's such a insecure type of reaction.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Jensen Huang, and Satya Nadella from Microsoft, the CEO, they're both like, please, we need you guys to use this, please.
Yeah.
Like it's such an interesting thing that like imagine if like McDonald's or Subway says, please, you need to eat our burger, you need to eat our sandwich. How bad does that sound, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not great, but here we are. Not AI generated. This is the not AI generated podcast, but who knows?
Wow, Howdy, that was a great podcast. Here are 5 different ways you can grow your podcast. Number 1.
Number 1, subscribe to us on YouTube and on any podcasting service you're listening to. But do you have any?
Tell your friends, please. Okay, actually, if you guys are listening, I'm sorry if you're getting ads, but bro, your boys made like 15 cents. All right, we're gonna make it out together. We're gonna make it out, bro. We'll give back to the community. We'll give. When we make $100, we'll do a giveaway.
Yes,
Please just get us to 300 subs on YouTube. I know I said 275
Nah.
at the beginning.
Listen, subscribe if you want. We'll figure it out.
No, please.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Because look, okay, at 500, we get the hype button.
Yeah, we don't need it. We're good.
because we make the old hype right here.
See,
actually,
now you got it.
That was not that wasn't convincing.
That's okay.
I,
We just had a 2-hour and 45-minute podcast, so if they're not convinced by now, then they don't want it, you know.
I don't. Dude,
But do you have anything to let the people know?
Please subscribe because I might get laid off. So, yeah, I did not plan for this, so I would appreciate.
Hopefully not.
Just tell your mom or your grandma to tell her WhatsApp group about this.
Fair.
Yeah.
I would say drink water and check out Death Stranding if you haven't yet. It's really cool.
Yeah. Music vibes amazing.
Excellent. But yeah, check out the new videos on the YouTube. Appreciate it.